hit subscribe. Subscribe to my guy, Uncle D. Tell him Big Bass sent you.
Dennis Sterling. I'm an attorney here in Houston, Texas, an advocate for black men, largely because I am a black man. I'm a black father. I have black sons. Hey, man, I do what I do.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the broadcast, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Big shout out to Mr. 43TX and Devin Townsend, man. Welcome to the membership. I want to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat room, man. It's gonna be we're gonna go in tonight, man. We're gonna learn a whole lot. Now, again, my name is Dennis Sperling. I want to first acknowledge all of my members. Always want to acknowledge my members. You are the real MVPs in this thing. My members, they pay their dues. Gosh, man, they the ones that let me know, hey, man, you're doing all right out here. We're learning something. Somebody type, learn something in the chat room. That's what I'm into, making sure that my people are equipped with the knowledge that was oftentimes not provided to them so they can make intelligent decisions. Now, I'm going to give a disclaimer off rip. Okay, first thing is, I'm a registered Democrat, been a lifelong Democrat. I voted for Donald Trump twice in the 2020 election and the 2024 election. I am not here to tell you who to vote for. My thing is just vote your interest, man. That's really all I want you to do. And do it from a perspective of understanding. Big shout out to TIQS. Thank you for being the first person to contribute to the super chat. Good looking out, man. But, you know, so what I'm saying is, I want you to know what you're doing, okay? When it comes to that vote that you give, that our ancestors fought and died for. Shout out to all the foundational Black American brothers and sisters in here, man. We are learning. We've been learning a lot over the past 60 days. We've been getting it in, and I think that's pretty good. And I really appreciate it. It's an honor to be here with you all. Now, that being the case, yesterday there was a fight in the White House. I mean, golly, I'm sure everybody has heard about it by now. If not, man, you've been under a rock, man. Even if you don't necessarily watch television or anything like that. I mean, it's like, woo. Now, I got a little something I picked up somewhere, but, you know, I just thought this was it. Let me play this right here. Look at it. Bam, bam. Watch out. Watch your back, fool. I'll run that back for y'all one more time, man. Look, the internet is the devil. You hear me? AI is clearly the devil. Look at this. Let me run this back one more time. Boom. Yeah, I wish it was that juicy. I really wish that the fight was this juicy. You know what I'm saying? I would look at man, this AI is the devil. Do you hear me? Golly, man, what are we gonna do? Oh no, you got Trump in there in the mix, and JD Vance and Zelenskyy is going at it, man. I'm telling you, boy, this is hilarious, man. But anyway, we over here minding our black business. Somebody type we're resting in the chat room. Somebody type we are resting in the chat room. Somebody type we are resting in the chat room. Okay, just so they know where we coming from. We are resting. We are not, this is not our problem. We're not dealing with this. Not something we're trying to concern ourselves with. Okay. But this is a big deal to a lot of people. And the truth is, this is one of those things that could escalate terribly. So, you know, I think it's important that we understand, especially since we are politically active. And so I'm going to just show you what happened. You guys hit
respect. I think, Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media.
Now, for you all who don't know, let me run this back. The man sitting here in the black. Let me see if I can make the screen big. Shout out to Ben Brockton. The man over here to the left, okay, is the dude in the black in the tracksuit, looking like a Russian gangster, coming there with no coat on, no tie. In fact, one of the press corps asked him, I mean, do you wear a suit, sir? And his response was, when I get this thing resolved, I'll put a clown suit on. But excuse me, got to sip on my tea because we are sipping tea tonight. But so that's Zelenskyy right there. He's the president of Ukraine. Okay, and just so you all know, Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union before it broke up. Shout out to Easy 7700. Thank you so much. Of course, as you know, with the trademark red tie, and right there in the Oval Office, sitting in the middle is Donald Trump, and to the right is JD Vance. And for you guys who don't know, JD Vance is a former Marine, I guess we could say Marine, enlisted. And so, he's going to have that Marine mentality. He's a Yale graduate, Harvard Law School. I think Harvard he went to undergrad, Yale Law School, I'm not sure. But nevertheless, so this is where it played out. Now, the thing is, Zelenskyy was supposed to fly over here, and they were supposed to do a deal. Trump said, look, I'm not Biden. We gave you $350 billion. We need that money back. And then Zelenskyy has been complaining because he's like, well, Biden didn't say I had to pay it back. Well, you should have won the war before Biden left, okay? I'm gonna need my money. All right, somebody type, let me hold something in the chat room. We're gonna need that back. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna need that back, Playboy. We're gonna need that money. So for about the past 10 days, Zelensky's been tripping, like, so he hopped himself on over here and eased on over here. And he wasn't happy. Okay, and suspiciously, somebody typed suspiciously, his advisor said, well, we want to have a meeting before we want to meet the press corps before we sign these documents. You understand what I'm saying? We want to get in front of the media. Just, let them know we here before we sign these documents. You know what I'm talking about, Playboy? That's what Zelenskyy told. And Trump was like, all right, cool, no problem. All right, whatever, man. Trump is probably so used to being in front of TV. Anything that happens, he can handle it. But nevertheless, so this is the background. Everything's supposed to be squared away. Marco Rubio, Little Hands Marco, who ran against Trump back in 2016, is now the Secretary of State. He said, Trump, I got it squared away. Everything's good, baby. He's gonna come over here, sign the documents. Whoop, whoop, it's done. We're gonna get this money. We're gonna go over there. We're gonna do our pimp thing. We're gonna get that. You know what I mean? Let me hold something. Everything's good. Marco Rubio is kind of sitting off screen. You can see him with his little 2 feet pointed together like that at the bottom of the screen. See him with his little 2 feet. He's short, man. He's a small person. His little feet barely hit the ground, but he's right there. That's Marco Rubio next to JD Vance. And so they waiting, you could tell by the way Zelensky's arms are folded. You should know something's up. But I'm going to go ahead and let this play out, and then I'm going to let it roll through, and I'll give a little play-by-play, but I want y'all to hear how it went down. All right, boom.
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Mm-hmm. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be.
Now, did you hear what he said? Right now, you all are forcing conscripts to the front line because you have manpower problems. In other words, what he's saying is, y'all have, this war has been going on for 3 years. It's to the point now, you don't have enough men to come and fight in the front. In other words, all your soldiers are getting unalived. And this is what he's talking about. Y'all listen to this. Listen to this. Hit the #1 button if you can hear it. This is what they're doing. That's the mom right there in the red. And these recruiters, shout out to all my military guys. Don't y'all wish y'all could recruit people like this? Look at this. Look at that. They snatching him up. They are straight snatching Buddy up. You can hear him. You hear him screaming? Look. What they doing over there? Look. Look at mom like, not my baby. Don't take my baby. That's my baby. Oh no. They like, he going to the front. We're gonna give him some boot, guns. He's rolling to the front line. He gonna be out of here. This is what they're doing. Here's another one. Just look, snatching him up. Watch my boy. My boy said, I ain't going. Let me go up there real quick. I don't want to go. Why you hit me? I don't want to go. He hit me in my stomach. I don't want to go. Look, it's real. It's real. Look at that. That's how you do your recruits. And look at your boy. What's your last name? Let me scratch. Scratch against your t-shirt. Take off the handcuffs. I'm an effing boxer or effing murderer. Take off the cuffs, not an erderer. You handle me like an erderer. Well, I'm like an erderer here. Shame on you wearing body armor. ITCH. I'm a citizen in handcuffs. You are sending me to a war so that I protect your family. Why the F should I care about you? You effing scumbag. I hope you DIE. I will just DIE here because I don't need to defend. Defend who? Look at my boy. He mad, huh? He said, you're loyal to Ukraine. Loyal to you. You're effing. They ain't happy, man. They ain't happy. So this is they just snatching folks up off the street. So this is what JD Vance is talking about.
The president trying to bring it into this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine? Did you see what problems we have?
I have been to. I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people in your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice hopes and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless. You don't know that. God bless.
I want you to understand the context. Old buddy say, look, we got problems now. Y'all gonna have problems soon. It's problems going around for everybody. What you talking about? Just because we got problems don't mean we different. Y'all got problems. Yeah, you got a nice house now. So low key, that's some hate. That's you hate. You wishing I'm going through what you going through. You understand what I'm saying? But let's listen to that hot mess again. This is some hating going on.
But you have nice hopes and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless. You don't know that. God bless. You don't know.
And then Trump said, man, you don't know that, fool. You over here to sign. He said, you don't know what's going to happen to us in the future, man. Just, you tripping. You tripping. You see that hate, though? Keep listening.
In the future. God bless. You don't know that. God bless. You don't bless.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't.
Hold on. And then your boy said, well, God bless you. God bless you. But you don't know you're going to have problems too. God bless you. I don't wish no harm on you, but I'm just saying bad things happen to everybody. That boy is in his feelings out here. And then Trump just chimed in like, look, fool. So let's run it back again.
In the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
God
bless.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what
you're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good. We're going to feel very good and very strong. You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now.
Sir, you are not in a good position. Russia is about to bear slap you, okay? Russia is like, look, okay, Trump, we want to get this thing resolved, but, they gotta bow down or lay down. They gotta lay down. You know what I'm saying? And Trump is like, look, man, this is basically Trump said, look, man, you about to get pimped. I'm just gonna tell you. This is what he's saying. He like, you either give us that 500 million and you can be our little side chick over there, or you can go on back to Russia. Okay, I done let you lay up under me in my house for 3 years now. Okay, I done let you lay up for 3 years now. Okay, you laid up for free. Now it's time for you to get down. Okay, now you can either go back to the other man, okay, Russo. You can go back to Russo, or you can stay here with us. Okay, we ain't perfect, but we're gonna have to get something to watch now. Come on, baby girl. You're gonna have to give up some of that now. Yeah. You've been hanging out with her. We've been your sugar daddy for a long time now. Ukraine. But it's time for you to go ahead and lay down. Otherwise, it's gonna be you're gonna make a decision. You gotta put your choosing shoes on. You understand what I'm talking about? Somebody say choosing shoes. You gotta put your choosing shoes on now. It's time to pay up, baby. You got to put your choosing shoes. Ain't nothing for free. All right, we done gave you $350 billion now. We're gonna need to have to hold some. You're gonna have to lay low and spread them wide. And Zelensky sitting up there like, this ain't even right. This ain't even right. Why you doing me like that? You know how I feel. You know, have you been to where I'm from? You don't know what I've been through. Why I got to do all this now? The other one said, Biden said I didn't have to pay nothing. He said it was for free. And Trump like, look, well, I ain't Biden. You know what I'm talking about, baby? It's a new manager in town. we gonna get you right. So this is what's going on. Now, look, we're gonna need that $500 billion in cobalt. We need these minerals, okay? Because you know we got our thing going on over here, and you got them. Okay, see, you gonna give it to me, or you gonna go back to that strong arm pimp Russian? They gonna take it from you, and it ain't gonna be pretty. They gonna handle you rough. At least we talk nice to you. We can make sure your visas and your stamp, you get that visa to come over anytime you want to. All right, but you're gonna have to give it up now. I mean, make a decision. That's basically what Trump is saying. You're gonna pay somebody. You might as well pay us. That's what Trump is talking about. The pimp hand is strong. Now look how he handled your boy.
You start having cards. But right now you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once this entire meeting? No, in this entire
Now your boy, your boy JD Vance jumped in like, look, you need to say thank you to boss. You understand what I'm talking about? You lucky he took you in. You need to be happy. We gonna give you a little rest haven to sit up in. You understand me? You could have been over there by yourself. You understand me? Boss, no, I got this, boss. Let me talk to this boy. Look here, baby. Look here. Okay, you need to be thankful. Okay, you need to be thankful that you are in the presence of the head honcho. Ain't that right, boss? Yes, sir. All right. Now bow down and give that up. That's what he's saying, right, baby?
You said thank you. You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the.
Now he just said we do remember that you went to Pennsylvania to co-sign with Kamala Harris. We do remember that. We have great memories here on this side of the ticket. We do remember that. So we could penalize you for that strongly. You dig what I'm saying? Strongly. Somebody type strongly in the chat room, but we're gonna let that slide. As long as you come up with this $500 billion, sign this little piece of paper right here. They trying to get a whole 360 deal out of this dude from the Ukraine. His little arms over there. I don't even feel like, why y'all bringing up old stuff?
President who's trying to save your country.
He's trying to save. Trump is trying to save your ass. Excuse my language. I know we keep it family friendly up in here, but Trump is trying to save your. Look, he coming back. The bear is back. Okay, the bear is about to be unleashed on you. Russia is like a bear, and you don't want to deal with that. You don't want to be in the woods with that bear. This ain't no teddy bear. Okay, this ain't no panda bear. This is a big grizzly bear. Okay, and you Ukraine, you over there looking real cute. I mean, it's gonna be some straight prison politics. You're gonna be around there holding on to his little belt loop, walking through with your little commissary on, like, how you doing? Yeah, I mean, they're gonna take it. They're gonna take it all. They're gonna take it all. You better stay over here with us. At least we'll talk to you nice. Okay, we'll talk to you. We gonna get ours too now. We just letting you know we gonna get ours. But we'll talk to you nice though. Okay, we ain't gonna just do you like that, call y'all out your name, and we don't do that around here. You know what I'm saying? We finesse with the pimping. But it's gonna be some pimping nonetheless. Keep listening.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
he's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking.
Shut
Your
up.
country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this.
Don't look
You have
at
a damn good chance of
We are
coming out
staying-
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks.
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't been
not only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted.
You just called Joe Biden stupid. Now, somebody type stupid. You see what he said? The man is raw and uncut out there. He's just stupid. The stupid president, it was before me, gave you $350 billion. Now, I want y'all to keep in mind that Europe or the European Union also contributed, but it was in the form of loans. So it wasn't a grant. It wasn't like, you know, that loan you got to pay back. Europe is like, yes, of course, we will help you out, Ukraine. Of course, we're here to help you as a fellow member of Europe. We're here to, but it's going to be some strings attached. We'll have to make sure that you pay us back. Just a finger in a basket. But Joe Biden just gave $350 billion. I mean, was Joe Biden up in there just writing checks like he go 350, then go 350 play it? That's what it looked like. But so Trump is like, I'm not that stupid. But let's hear that stupid again. Come on, hit the number one button.
This stupid president, $350 billion. We
voted
gave
for
you
your
military equipment,
You
and your
voted
men
for
are
your
brave, but they had to use our military.
What about Mr.
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me.
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
see
have
I
our
want to look at the subtleties. Watch Trump push this fool back a little bit. I just want you to look at the subtle way that Trump pushed him back, man. Watch this.
What about Mr.
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military equipment,
That meant a lot.
if you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something.
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
The war would have been over in 3 weeks, maybe less, 3 days.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Again, just say thank you.
I said a lot of
Accept
times
that there,
to American people.
accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong.
And see, remember, Zelensky wanted to have this meeting. He wanted to do this in front of, so he flew over here, and instead of going in the back room, signing off on the documents and being done with it, he said, yeah, let's just go meet in front of the American press first, before, we go up there and sign off the documents. We had to go meet with them first. I want to see CNN and all these people. And so I feel like that was like a ploy. I think they underestimated this dude's shenanigans. They figured he wouldn't fly all the way over here just to, mess the thing up, right? But they underestimated this dude. He's erratic. Keep listening.
We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on. I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on.
I mean, look how this man is trying to overtalk the president of the United States. You over here begging, and you trying to overtalk the president of the United States in the White House, in the Oval Office. Imagine somebody coming to your house trying to loud talk you in your house, and they over there begging for money. I want y'all to just think about the outright disrespect that is. They in your house begging, asking you for money, trying to out-talk you in front of all your people. I just want you to think about that. Go ahead.
Soldiers, it would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want
And he cutting them off. You know what I'm saying?
a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take
Shout out to Quantum Solace.
it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting
Of
killed.
course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a
But I said to
ceasefire.
you,
I want a
with
ceasefire
guarantees.
because you get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
Doesn't
with
matter for you
me.
what
That wasn't with
it
me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with
a
you.
guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
This
That was
is your-
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Hey, you should have won the war then. You should have won the war during Biden's presidency. You got a new president to deal with now. Oh, he's trying to say we don't have kings over here. So what? New president, new direction.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question tonight.
Yeah, buddy. So anyway, after that, after that scrap down, they went back to their respective rooms. Okay. But then this happened. Basically, apparently Marco Rubio came in there and said, nah, Trump said you got to go. They literally put this dude out the White House. Look how he ran. Look how he up on out here.
Thank you so much.
Look.
Mr. President, is there no deal?
You gotta go now.
Mr. President, is the deal off?
You gotta go.
President Zelenskyy, can you tell us what happened?
You understand what I'm saying? He was forced to leave. Okay? You got to go. Get yourself on up out of here. Get you gone. Trump put him out. So you got to go back to your country.
Did you sign the
with no
deal?
money.
He's on the phone.
He ain't signed no deal. No, baby. There ain't no deal signed. Dude, no deal was signed. Trump said, all right, you got to go. Now, just so you all know who you're dealing with, I want y'all to understand. Okay, I want you to understand, who is this Zelenskyy fella? Who is this mighty man, of justice and all that? Let's take a look at his record. Okay, I want y'all to see. This is who we dealing with. I'm gonna turn the music down because I'm not trying to get demonetized, but this is who we dealing with. Look, this is him. This is the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelenskyy. This is him. Y'all see that? Y'all shout out to 100 Watts Radio. You understand what I'm saying? This is the dude. Let's just lay it all out there. This is him. This is who the dude. This is him. Look at your boy. You know what I'm saying? That's him in the middle. Look at that. This is the president of Ukraine. Now, of course, all these people over here know this about this man. And so I want you to understand, let's put yourself in the mind of Putin, okay? Putin's like, we got a weak American president. We got, Trump is gone. We got this guy as the president. This is him. This is the dude. Look, keep listening. I don't even want to, that's him. That's the president. Somebody type zesty in the chat room. Probably so. Probably so. Very much so. I'm gonna let y'all let that digest for a minute. Yes, Lord. That's him. That's the president right there. So somebody said chill. Somebody said Zelenskyy. Yeah, that's him. Right. Look at that, man. Okay. So that's the president. That's the guy we dealing with. Now, he did go on to Fox News later that night, and he had this to say. Let me see if I can pull this video for you guys real quick. Here it is right here.
After your meeting, that you disrespected him and the vice president and all of America in the Oval Office. Do you think you did? And do you think you owe an apology to President Trump?
I want you to apologize. He's never going to apologize. Keep listening.
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for the invitation for this dialogue, and good evening to all your country, to all Americans. I'm very thankful to Americans for all your support. You did a lot. I'm thankful to President Trump and to Congress bipartisan support. And I was always very thankful from all our people.
But let us get our money back if you're so doggone thankful. We want our money back, okay? Thanking us is not putting our $350 billion back, sir. All right? That's what JD Vance would say. Be more thankful in signing this contract so we can have our money, so we can get our roads fixed. But go ahead.
You helped us a lot from the very beginning during 3 years of full-scale innovation. You helped us to survive. And anyway, we are strategic partners. And even in such tough dialogue, and I think we have to be very honest, and we have to be very direct to understand each other, because it's very, for us, very necessary.
Shout out to Quantum Solace.
To President Trump, and I'm with all respect that he wants to finish this war, but nobody wants to finish more than we, because we in Ukraine, we are in this war. We are in this.
I want you guys to keep something in mind. As long as there's a war going on, he's not required under Ukrainian law or whatever constitution to have a election. You understand what I'm saying? So he can be president as long as there's a war going on and receive all the perks and benefits. Now, we already know this man likes the camera. I mean, do I need to run that footage back again? So just trying to understand who we're dealing with. Let's keep listening.
Battle for freedom for our lives. So I'm just telling that I think that we have to be on the same side, and I hope that the president on our side together with us, and that is very important to stop Putin. And I heard from President Trump a lot of times that he will stop the war, and I hope he will, and we need to pressure him with Europe, with all the partners. And I think this dialogue had to be a little bit earlier to understand where we are. Like, you know, I don't remember exactly, but like President Reagan said, that peace is not just an absent the war. Yes, we're speaking about just and lasting peace, about freedom, about justice, about human rights. And that's why I said that I think so, that ceasefire, and you know, Putin.
Y'all explaining. Let's do all explaining.
He broken 25 times ceasefire during all these years, 10 years.
So I'm not hearing from you, Mr. President, a thought that you owe the president an
all that explaining and no apology.
No, I respect the president and I respect American people. And if, I don't know if...
So I'm not going to give you y'all money back, and I'm not going to say I'm sorry for loud talking to the president. I just want all the Americans in the chat room, type 350 in the chat room. Go ahead, type 350
we have
billion.
To be very open and very honest. And I'm not sure that we did something bad. I think maybe some.
You took our money and you don't want to pay us back, sir. That's what happened.
Sometimes some things we have to discuss out
no,
of.
It's over. He sent you home.
Media, with all respect to democracy and to
going
free
home.
Media, but there are things that where we have.
You going home with no more money. That's where you going.
Have to understand the position of Ukraine and Ukrainians.
We understand that we want our $350 billion back. That's what we understand. Go ahead.
And I think that is the most important thing.
No, the most important thing to us is our $350 billion.
We have to be fair. We have to be very free.
Where's the money at? Okay, that's what I want to know. Where's the money? Now I want y'all to take a close look. All of my people in the chat room. Now look, I'm gonna say something that's gonna be offensive. This is him right here. Okay. Now we have a lot of urban people. We have a lot of people here who've seen a lot of things probably you shouldn't have seen. Okay, let me get in tight. In your life, okay, we've seen crackheads, heroin addicts, weed addicts, and such. And I'm not saying anything. I'm just gonna let this video play. And y'all tell me what you think. It's just him. Oh, hold on. That's not him. That's not him. Say what happened? What'd you say, sir? A little numbing of the top lip, a little runny nose there, huh? A little bit, huh? What's going on? Been sitting there a little too long, huh? A little bit, huh, buddy? A little wiping. There's a lot of wiping of the nose, sir. Oh, a lot of nose stretching. What's going on? Where's the money at? Where's the money at, sir? I'm just asking questions. Okay, I'm not gonna say nothing because I'm not messy. Uncle D is not a messy. I'm not a messy person. Not gonna be up in here being messy. However, I will say it's been a lot of erratic behavior by this gentleman. Now, Trump had something to say after it was over with, and you know, Trump has always got something to say about it. So let's go ahead and hear what old Trumpster had to say.
Meeting today, as you know, with President Zelenskyy, and I would say it didn't work out exactly great. From his standpoint, I think he very much overplayed his hand. We're looking for peace. We're not looking for somebody that's going to sign up a strong power and then not make peace because they feel emboldened, and that's what I saw happening. I'm looking for peace. We're not looking to go into a 10-year war and play games. We want peace. And it was just my impression that if we do that, if we sign up, he's looking for something that I'm not looking for. He's looking to go on and fight. We're looking to end the death.
Remember what I told you. As long as they're at war, he gets to still be president. I want y'all to keep that in mind.
2,000 people died this week. Soldiers, more than that, but 2,000 approximately people died this week. Young Ukrainians and Russians. And somebody would say, why do you care about Ukraine and Russian soldiers? I care about them. I care about everybody. And we're not doing that. Now, if we don't do anything, he's going to have to make peace, but he's dealing with a very weak set of cards. If we sign, he's dealing with a very strong set of cards.
So basically, Trump is saying you're dealing with strong cards because if you sign this contract, then we're going to be over there protecting our interests. And if protecting our interests means that Russia is not going to invade while the United States of America, the most powerful nation in the world, is in Ukraine present digging for our cobalts because we want to get our 500 million out of this. We put 350 million billion, and we want to get that 500 billion out because we got to get an investment. And so I guess Zelenskyy wants something in writing saying, well, you're going to fight this battle for us. So he can always come back and say, well, no, the contract is breached because you all aren't fighting the battle for us. No, we're not here to fight your battle. We're here to get our cobalt, sir. Shout out to Renee Wans. We're here to get our minerals. That's what we're here to get. We're here to get our vitamins and minerals so we can keep our thing going. And eventually, you and Russia are going to have to work this thing out. But as it is right now, as long as we here, you good. You understand what I'm saying, baby girl? You good up in here. As long as we over here, you good. We know Russia. We went to school with them back in the day. All right, we did a little time with them in the pen. Had a little something called the Cold War that lasted like 30, 40 years. So we know each other. They know us. You good. As long as we over here, you good. But he's like, no, I want more than that. You're going to have to do more than that. You have to pay my rent or something. We ain't getting nothing out of it. That's what's going on right now. Just keep listening.
And that he doesn't want to make peace. So that's where we are.
He don't want to make peace because if he make peace, then the war is over. And then he gets somebody else comes in and takes over as president. He might end up in jail. You know how they do over there in those Eastern European countries?
Very simple. I'm not looking to get into anything protracted. I want immediate peace. President Putin is going to want to make, and he wants to end it. And you saw what I saw today. This is a man that wants to get us signed up and keep fighting.
This man wants to get us signed up, and he wants to say, look, y'all said y'all was going to send us more troops. Send us some of those SEAL Team 6s. We want them SEAL Team 6s over here. We need some of them Marines over here at the front line to help us fight against Russia. We want y'all to take up our fight. And Trump is like, nah, we ain't doing that. No, we going to come over there and get our minerals. We're going to call Russia and say, look, dog, you got to chill. Okay, she with us now. Okay, Ukraine is with us. All right, you're gonna have to sit down. All right, be cool. We'll work it out on the back end. I'll make sure you good. I'm good. We cool. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to fight about this, man. This is money everywhere for us, baby. We get everybody gets some. See, because Trump and Putin, whether you like Putin or not, whether you like Trump or not, they have an understanding. Okay, they have an understanding. They understand that we will hit you, and we will hit you hard. And so Putin is like, all right, let me go on chill. But Putin had and they're not going to give up the land that they already occupy. In other words, Russia came in, it took some parts of and has occupied some parts of Ukraine. They're not going to get that back. And that's part of the reason why Zelensky's mad. Like, we got to give you 500. Yeah, you're going to give us access to these minerals so he don't take the rest of your country away from you. Because at this point, there's nothing the European Union. We've had to go save Europe from itself twice, World War I and World War II. Europe is just, what is Great Britain gonna do? What they gonna do? Give them some tea and crumpets? What is France gonna do? Who else is? Germany doesn't even have an army. What are they gonna do? Nothing. America is the only one that can keep Russia in check. Period. That's it. Final. You understand what I'm saying? And so, you know, all these European countries that say, yeah, we stand behind Ukraine. Well, why did y'all give them a loan instead of giving it to them for free like we did? Biden gave them money for free, $350 billion. How many roads could we build with $350? How many schools could we build in Detroit and Chicago and LA and in small towns in Utah? That's our hard-earned taxpayer dollars. Let's let Trump finish.
And we're not doing that, not for this country. So we're setting a lot of records. Economically, we're setting records, and I think every way we're setting records. So one of the best is the right track, wrong track. You saw that.
As you can imagine, most of the Republicans, and this is a famous, his name is Lindsey Scott. I mean, he most of them kind of agree with it, you know, and that's not surprising, right? Listen to this. It's not surprising.
Complete, utter disaster. I've been to Ukraine 8 or 9 times since the war started. I understand the consequences of Putin's actions against Ukraine. I appreciate what the Ukrainian people have done. They fought like tigers. At the end of the day, I was hoping that this minerals deal, which would be transformative in the relationship, would go over well. I talked to Zelenskyy this morning. Don't take the bait. President Trump was in a very good mood last night. Somebody asked me, am I embarrassed about Trump? I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of JD Vance, standing up for our...
JD Vance is a hell of a wingman. Somebody type wingman Vance in the chat room. But go ahead. But this is a typical response. You would think that the Republicans would support Donald Trump in his position and saying, hey, you're going to pay us our money back. You know, we're going to need that $500 billion back. Go ahead.
Country. We want to be helpful. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelenskyy again. So
in other words, he's got to go. Okay, we got to get him out of here. Y'all got to get a new president in there because this dude is not the one. Okay.
I think most Americans saw a guy that they would not want to go in business with. The way he handled the meeting, the way he confronted the president was just over the top. So I think the relationship between Ukraine and America is important, vitally important. But can Zelenskyy do a deal with the United States?
Now, I just want y'all to keep in mind, Zelenskyy has been president far past his time. He's overstayed his time, but because there's a war going on, he's still the president. He's still able to be in charge and get power and have power and talk to people. He's still important. All right, come on.
What I saw, I don't know.
On lunch with President Trump, what did he say to you about his interactions and whether he thinks...
He was shocked. He was very upbeat. I told Zelenskyy...
Shout out to Randy Harris.
Security guarantees. We'll talk about ceasefires and how the war ends. This is a process. You have a new relationship with America, a $500 billion, $500 billion deal that President Trump is proud of, that gives us an interest worth defending. Let's talk about the positive. But he was terrible at Munich, Zelenskyy, and I think he has made it almost impossible to sell to the American people that he's a good investment.
Do you think President Zelenskyy needs to resign to resume these peace talks?
He either needs to resign and send somebody over that we can do business with, or he needs to change.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. You see what I'm saying? Now, again, I don't think that anybody is surprised that the Republicans are behind that. Now, what I am doing, the reason we're here tonight, shout out to all my people up in here, because a lot of the brothers and sisters have developed some opinions on that. And I want to share a couple of videos with a couple of brothers and sisters that have had some things to say. This one brother, he was just straight up. Listen to what he has to say.
Talks to Zelenskyy. That's what we've been missing.
Yeah.
That's what I voted for. That's what I've been looking for. Somebody talking with their chin. Who you talking to? It's America.
Yeah, fool.
You better be humble when you walk up in there. Making demands. Who you think you talking to? It's Big Trump and Big Vance. And I like how Vance stepped right in.
Yeah.
Trump sat back like a G. Trump came in. No, I got this. I got this.
I got it. Yeah.
Hey, bro, you need to check yourself.
Check yourself.
We're doing you a favor. The United States does not need Ukraine. We can sit back and let Russia destroy y'all.
Really?
So you better come with some humility, bro.
Yeah. And so the brother reflects a lot of, I mean, like when you somebody in your house, and shout out to everybody contributing to the Cash App. Big up to you guys. I'm gonna read every Cash App, every super chat before I finish, but I don't want to lose my train of thought. I'm trying to break this very complicated international situation, I want y'all to understand it. Like if I can walk up out of here, leave here, and you all thoroughly understand exactly what's going on in the history of these countries and whatnot, my job is done. I know y'all learned something, and nobody can ever take away from you what you learned. This sister right here is one of my favorites. Listen to what she has.
I have not even thought about turning on my TV in days. Matter of fact, weeks. There's no point because what's going on in the country is scary, but it's hella entertaining. Because what the hell was going on at the White House between Vance, Trump, and Zelenskyy? Did they just little boy him in front of the whole world?
I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. Yeah. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring it into this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all,
did Vance just put the drop? First of all, Vance is a gangster. Really okay, he's so Midwest. They really kicked him out the White House like Pam.
They put him out.
Like Pam. They said this is not the administration from last year. Okay, no. This is not Biden and Harris.
It's not.
All right, we as men.
Yes.
God, it feels good.
It feels good.
We are back.
We back. How they taking our money like that? We tired of it. Now, okay. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that there's a lot going on, and this is something I'm so proud of my black brothers and sisters because for years they just tried to play us like we didn't know what was going on in politics. We should just vote like we're told. The Democrats used to do that all the time, but now we're at the point. We're taking this by the reins. We're very informed. We're very educated. And I want to go ahead and just keep trying to break this down. Now, what's going to happen next? Let's take a look at this lady's play-by-play.
You look at the Ukrainian ambassador who was in the meeting. There was a point where she had her head in her hands.
Look at your girl. As it was going on, this is his ambassador. Like this, he done messed it up again. This damn booty shaking weirdo Zelenskyy has messed up what we had going on. People are dying over there. Kids, young men are being snatched up off the street. You saw the video, being conscripted into the military just to be thrown in the front lines to be cannon fodder. You understand what I'm saying? Keep listening.
And she looked like she was on the verge of tears, which is completely understandable because everything that they had hoped for from this meeting, that there would be this mineral deal, there would be the possibility that the Americans, that Trump would not side completely with Vladimir Putin, but would come back towards Zelenskyy. All gone.
Especially after what was said yesterday in the same office between Prime Minister Starmer and the President. Where does this lead the different and now shattered shards of the peace process, if you can even call it that?
There is no peace process. What there is President Trump talking to his friend Vladimir Putin and trying to work out how to stop the fighting. Now, the issue is that the Ukrainians will not stop fighting. Even if there is a peace deal agreed between America and Ukraine.
So you hear what he's saying? The people of Ukraine want to keep the fight going. They don't want to stop the fight. That's according to what this lady, who's apparently an expert, they want to keep the fight going. They want to get more money, more ammunition, more manpower from the United States so that they can keep the fight going because they're trying to push Russia all the way out of the territory that they've already won or taken over the past 3 years. And Trump is like, you're going to have to hold that L. Okay, we're not going to fight to help you get the land back that you lost. You know how much that would cost in blood and treasure? No, you're going to have to hold that L. That's basically what they're saying. And so he coming over there like, nah, we're going to give y'all 500. We're gonna give you access to our cobalt. Y'all need to help us keep fighting. And like, nah, don't nobody want to. You took that. You gonna take that L, partner. You gonna take that L.
In which the Europeans may or may not have a role. That will not stop Ukrainians from fighting to get Russians out of their land. That does not mean that Russia can control Ukraine, because what we know is that although President Trump thinks this is about real estate, a bit of land that could be on this side of the border or that side of the border, that is not what it's about for President Putin.
He doesn't get it, does he?
For President Putin, it's about total control of Ukraine and Ukrainians. Look at the Ukraine.
So this is, you know, it's like you got people who are fighting with two different motivations. Now let's go and look at a little history. This is a precursor, and we're gonna dig deep. You're gonna learn a lot. I promise you guys, you're gonna be very happy with this broadcast when I'm finished. It's something you can relate back to. It's a lot of surprises in here. Whatever you feel. Some people, they say when you see two people fighting, you don't know who's the fool and who's not. Okay, so I want you all, you're gonna be able to draw lines and pick sides when we finish it. It might be surprising. Let's keep listening.
With negotiations with Russia, but Zelenskyy actually issued a decree back in October 2022, no negotiations. So there were no negotiations. Now Trump is starting negotiations. Now the Europeans and Zelenskyy are saying, oh my God, oh my God. Well, Europe should have been negotiating. All of this came about because of American arrogance and stupidity. Sorry to say. This goes back 30 years. I hope some people here understand that. This is not something that Putin started, although that's everybody's line. But if someone actually knows some history, and I do go back with advising Ukraine and Russia and the Soviet Union before that, so I've been involved personally in these issues since 1989. This is U.S. arrogance that goes back to 1992 when the Americans said, we run the world.
I want you to listen very carefully to what this man said, because he's repeating what Trump said. He said, this is not something that Putin initiated. Now, Putin, remember, and look, I am 100% on the side of what's best for the United States. But if we want to get down to it, see, here's the problem. Here's the problem with a person like me. I don't care if we right or wrong. I just want America to win. That's where I'm at. It don't matter to me if we right or if we're wrong. I want America to win. I want America first. All right. And I need y'all to understand that that's where I'm coming from. But at the end of the day, we still have to have an accurate understanding of what transpired beforehand. All right. I feel the same way. Anybody who's, look, America first, period. Why? Because I'm an American. I live in America. We might have our internal fights about racism, poverty, all these other things. But at the end of the day, we are still Americans, and this is where we live. And we have to take care of our land and our country. That's just it. You can call it patriotic. You can call it pig-headed. I don't care. I'm 100% America first. If it means we effing over some people in some other countries, oh, damn well. I'm sorry, okay? But whatever, I don't care. America first, because my family lives here. Because my ancestors live here. Because I have stake in the well-being of this country. And anybody with common sense, I don't care what color you are, should recognize that if you are an American, you should want America to always come out on top. Now, of course, we know that all nations fall, all great countries fall, but not today. Okay, that's not today. Let's push that down the road a couple of 100 years. We'll deal with that later. But as it is right now, what this man is saying is that this was not Putin's initiation. This was because 30 years ago, under I guess George Herbert Walker Bush, Daddy Bush, America, after Soviet fell, like, oh yeah, well, you know, you were the unipower now. We the only one, we the number one superpower out here. We're gonna run roughshod over everybody. And so this is where this started those years back. So I'm gonna let that run back again. So now that you have context, I want you to understand that Russia fell. America was the last, I think it was under Gorbachev back in the 1990s. I remember something like Reagan said, Gorbachev, tear down that wall. And then George H.W. Herbert Walker Bush got into office, and then the Soviet Union broke apart. And then after that, you know, America was like, well, we got it. You know, we got it. we the boss all got in these streets. You understand? We do what we want to do. That's basically what happened. And so it was American arrogance. Okay, so just keep listening.
Actually know some history, and I do go back with advising Ukraine and Russia and the Soviet Union before that. So I've been involved personally in these issues since 1989. This is U.S. arrogance that goes back to 1992 when the Americans said, we run the world. We're the unipolar, sole, indispensable nation of the world, sole superpower.
Yeah.
And then in 1994, Bill Clinton said, okay, we'll expand NATO and it'll just keep going eastward. We told the Soviets we won't move 1 inch eastward. Doesn't matter. We're going to do it. We're Americans. We do whatever we want. And Zbig Brzezinski, people here know, they should go back and read his grand chessboard book, 1990.
Now, Brzezinski is, there's a woman who is on MSNBC. Her name is Mika Brzezinski. Her father, Dr. Brzezinski, was a famous international, I guess, he was PhD, doctor, world-renowned international affairs sort of person. And he's going to explain why this man is significant. Listen.
Brzezinski, people here know, they should go back and read his grand chessboard book, 1997, where he lays out Washington policy. He actually has a chapter, What Will Russia Do as NATO expands eastward? And his conclusion is they can't do anything. They'll have to agree to whatever the United States says. So people should learn a little bit of history. Europe, of course, doesn't act at all because it has no foreign policy other than obeying the United States.
Europe has no foreign policy at all other than obeying the United States. Did you hear that? So that's really where we are. Okay. Now, I want to take the opportunity to really dig deep down, way down deep. Okay. Well, in the jungle deep, where signified monkey stepped on the lion's feet. Hallelujah. I'm sorry about that. I couldn't resist it. But anyway, let me slide back over here. Let's go ahead and get geared up. Are y'all with me? Y'all ready to learn something? Are we ready to learn something today? Are we ready to learn something that I think is tremendously important? Somebody say, type bigly in the chat room. Somebody type bigly in the chat room. Let's make sure. Somebody type bigly in the chat room, right? So again, as I said yesterday, okay, in the White House, white folks was fighting each other in the White House yesterday at a meeting. All right, we talked about it, right? And it was meant to strengthen the U.S.-Ukrainian relationship and to help finalize a deal for rare earth minerals, specifically cobalt, right? In a tense confrontation between President Trump, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, and Vice President JD slap him down Vance, okay? JD pimp hand Vance. And what happened? We saw it in the meeting, the fallout, and the fallout afterward, it raised some serious questions about America's role in the war, or continued role in this war, and Ukraine's expectations, and whether we should even continue pouring billions of dollars into a conflict that really has no end in sight, because apparently they don't want to end it. And when I say they, I'm talking about the Ukrainians. Again, in the little backdrop, for the past 10 days, President Zelenskyy, before he even got here, he's been voicing complaints behind closed doors about President Trump's willingness to negotiate with Russian President Vladimir Putin. But the thing also is that when he found out, Trump said, yeah, I'm gonna need to get that $500 billion contract too, because we need to recoup some of this money. His main complaint was, well, Biden didn't make me do it. Well, I'm not Biden, okay? So apparently there's some stories saying that he was around there screaming in his, what would be the equivalent of his White House. Very emotional man. I will say that, very, very emotional. This guy is extremely emotional, you know, and that's probably why, like, we can't even work with this dude. This dude is just too darn emotional. And I think we understand why he's emotional, because, you know, he is, I don't know what's his problem, but you know, that's him. But, you know, it became clear that this wasn't just a simple diplomatic meeting. You know, it was a planned moment by Zelenskyy to try to pressure Trump publicly using the presence of the U.S. media to try to box him in to committing more, or at least try to play the victim. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. You know, you get around your gal and y'all done had an argument, and then some people show up and she try to get all loud with you just so she can get people to cope. This is the president, right? That's the president. That's Zelenskyy. I want y'all to know this is him. This is the person that we sent $350 billion to. That's him. That's him. Okay, I'm just playing the video footage. That's all I'm doing. I'm just here to play the video footage. You all will see. That's the president, Zelenskyy, right there. Nevertheless, you know, the thing is, JD Vance stepped in and he saw that, you know, he saw what Zelenskyy was trying to do, and he called him out for him. You know, you trying to turn a meeting into some sort of spectacle instead of trying to have a real negotiation. Negotiation hadn't taken place. We're supposed to go in the back and deal with this, but you wanted to come out here and talk to the media. Now you out here trying to get co-signers from CNN. You understand? And my man JD Vance made it clear that Ukraine has already received an enormous amount of support from the U.S. and that the American people deserve respect, not demands. And then Trump, clearly frustrated at that point, he didn't hold back. He told Zelenskyy straight up, make a deal with Russia or we're out. Okay? Either we're gonna work with them or we're gonna be out. And that one statement shook the entire conversation. Zelenskyy realized that Trump was not going to simply give in. This ain't Biden we talking about. And then came the turning point, right? After the argument, Zelenskyy and his delegation, they got sent to another room because they were supposed to have a meeting. And Trump and his team stayed behind. Shout out to Threeville Dewar. Thank you so much for the membership. And shortly thereafter, the National Security Advisor, Mr. Mike Waltz, and the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, who had already went to visit Zelenskyy and had worked this thing out ahead of time, he said, look, President Trump says you got to go, right? So not only do you not have a deal, but you don't even get a chance to talk to the president anymore. And, you know, so the deal that they were supposed to sign was never signed. Now, Zelenskyy, okay, y'all want to call him Hot Pants? We'll just call him Hot Pants Zelenskyy, so we'll know who we're talking about. Hot Pants keeps saying that the U.S. and the Ukraine are partners, okay? But, you know, let's ask the obvious question. What exactly has Ukraine given the United States in return for the billions of dollars in military aid we've already provided? Just last year alone, old man Biden, the administration gave him $60 billion in equipment, financial support, and we can get anything for that. Shout out to my man Yaya Kids, gifted 10 Dennis Sperling podcast. That's what I'm talking about, man. Thank you so much, man. And the total has been $350 billion of our money. So you know that money they take out of your little check, that little money they take out of your little check, your little weekly check, that went to Ukraine. Okay, that's where your money went, to fund the war. It had nothing to do with us. It was just given to them for free. And the question is, what do we get in exchange? And so now Zelenskyy, also known as Hot Pants, has dared to come to the country, come to the United States, sit his sassy self down in the White House and demand even more, okay? Implying that if we don't continue backing him, right, there's going to be consequences for us, like Jesus is going to come down and punish the United States and say, you got a nice house now, but you don't know what's going to happen to you. That's not diplomacy. That's not how alliances work. And see, the real shocker is that Zelenskyy actively campaigned for Vice President Kamala Harris. Shout out to Ben Sisko during the U.S. presidency election. So you know what would have been happening if she had got elected. She gave him another $350 billion. Now we almost $1 trillion in. And these people want to keep fighting. They want to keep fighting because they want that little bit of land back that Russia took. And they hoping that we could just outlast them. So they literally snatching people off the street, putting them in the front line. But see, the problem is they made a serious miscalculation when they start dealing with Trump. Shout out to Janetta. Thank you so much, sister. You know, and look, like I'm saying, Trump always lets people know how he's feel. You show him some disrespect, it's a wrap. I tell people all the time, I tell my sons this all the time. Respect is not always noticed, but disrespect is always noticed. So you always show people in power the utmost respect. Even if you don't like them, you always do that. Because if you don't, they'll never forget. You see what I'm saying? It's always noticed. And that's just the word to the wise. It should be sufficient. Now, Zelensky truly wanted to, if he wanted to keep a strong relationship with the U.S., you know, his biggest mistake was running out there. You got a war to fight, and you coming over to Pennsylvania to stand next to Kamala Harris. That was your biggest mistake. But they were willing to look past that for that small fee, for that $500 billion. You know what I'm saying? But see, Zelensky thought, well, I'm gonna just walk on into the White House and be handed a blank check. And that's not how things work under Donald Trump. Now let's talk about this setup. Why did Zelensky's foreign minister insist on having the press present, okay, and having a meeting before they sign the deal? To me, you know what I'm saying? This suggests that Zelensky had planned this entire confrontation to pander to the American media. You know, this is what desperate people do. It's like a relationship with a girl. She can't win the argument, so she wants to get a bunch of, and men do it too. They got some dudes out there with these feminine care. They can't stand on their own, so they need a crowd. They need an audience. See what she did to me? I thought we handled this behind closed doors. And now you want to bring it all to the public. You see what I'm saying? So you want to have an audience. He wanted to use the cameras, the headlines, and the public pressure to try to force Trump's hand in offering continued aid for free. You see, he thought he would catch Trump off guard. And I don't think he anticipated JD Vance being there. But so you know, again, hot pants Zelensky misunderstood Trump completely, and it all backfired. And so rather than securing a deal that would strengthen Ukraine's economy and provide a clear benefit to both nations, he was basically just told, get out. They literally said, you got to get out the White House. And so the entire setup failed. And the only mistake, and I'm going to say this, the only mistake President Trump made in this situation was not getting Zelensky to sign the damn mineral deal before the press conference. You see? If he had done that first, Ukraine would have had no choice but to honor the agreement, and the U.S. would have gained some concrete returns. We'd got that $500 billion. That was the only mistake. Shout out to Quantum Solace. You know, and for a master negotiator, I always know when I get that yes, it's a wrap. Once I get the yes conversation's over, yeah, he'd got off the plane. Come on in the back. Come on, have a seat. You want some coffee, some tea? He got the contracts right here. Is that your lawyer? Okay, go ahead. Let's sign this. Oh, well, we want to have the meeting first. No, we're not going to have the press conference first. We're going to go ahead and get this signed right now. Okay, America is asleep right now. We'll wait till they wake up. We'll wait till we get this signed first, and then we'll have the conference with the press afterwards. That's what we're going to do. Okay, Zelensky, go ahead. We got you some leotards in the back. Got some male strippers for you so you can hang out for a little while. We got plenty of them in Washington, D.C., baby. We know what you like. We good. But go ahead, sign this contract. Go ahead, put that pen to paper. You understand what I'm talking about? We need to get this money out the way. And that's why you handle business first. I ain't going to sit up here and let somebody sit up and blah, blah, blah. No, sign this contract, playboy. You done came all the way from over here from Ukraine. Ain't no need to politic. You done spent the gas money to come over here, put the paper on the table. We got 4 copies for you, 4 copies for us. We're going to need you to put that ink on that paper, okay? Because we got to get this paper. We got to get our money back, man. We in for $350 billion. We need our paper. You understand me? We got Doge cleaning house. We need all our money. We need our bread. But, you know, they let him slip away. They let this dude, you know, I mean, they thought he was going to, you know, it was just a little circumstance. Wanted to talk to the press, cool, but he played them. That's what I think. You understand me? But nevertheless, that being the case, Trump was right. You know, anybody with good sense, you don't let somebody just come in your house and disrespect you in front of your family in your living room. Are you kidding me? The Oval Office? Are you kidding me? Some of the most important decisions that have ever been made in America have been made in the Oval Office. Life and death decisions that affect billions of people around the world. So, you know, he was standing on business, man. You're not going to let somebody, even a slight disrespect. You see what I mean? Because if Trump let this little, you know, hot pants, flaky, sassy dude check him, then he wouldn't be able to, Putin would lose respect for him. You see what I'm saying? So, Trump was right for standing firm and calling out Ukraine's repeated dependence on American taxpayers. Now, it's important to understand something that is rarely discussed in the mainstream media about Zelensky, the benefits. And I talked about this earlier. Again, as long as this war is going on in Ukraine, there'll be no national elections in the country. As long as there's no elections, Zelensky remains in power indefinitely. That's why Trump slipped up the other day and just called him a dictator. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you just there forever. And so, again, as long as the war continues, he continues receiving foreign aid without accountability. He gets to go around the world and plea and beg and whatnot. So, in other words, peace could threaten his political future. All right. Now, let's also talk about where's this money gone. Now, I have some official indications as to where the money went. And this is some official statements as to where the money went. But I don't know. I don't know. Where did the money go? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, according to the official statements, and this is only about 141 billion. They say the European Deterrence Initiative, shout out to Robert J. Carmichael, 336 billion for U.S. and NATO forces in Europe. U.S. aid, economic support, 33 billion. The DOD sent 27 billion. Ukraine security assistance, 28 billion. Foreign military assistance, 5.4 billion. International disaster, 2.68 billion. And other programs. Somebody type other in the chat room, and some other programs, they had about 15 billion. I don't know. Okay, that's official. But unofficially, the word on the street, the unsubstantiated rumors, right, is that a lot of this money from the United States taxpayers, it just been used in Ukraine, not just on the military, but on personal luxury items enjoyed by Zelensky's inner circle. Okay. Now, believe it or not, this man has a wife. Okay. And apparently, and this is rumor, I don't know, it's not substantiated. I've not had enough time to research this, but it's my understanding that this woman's out here buying Bugattis with our taxpayers' dollar. You see what I'm saying? So that money you made at the Piggly Wiggly working, that summer job last summer, and them tips you made at the Script Club that you had to pay taxes on, it went to help buy old Hot Pants, his wife, a Bugatti. Now, you ain't got a Bugatti, okay? You can barely pay your rent, but she used your money to go buy a Bugatti. You understand what I'm saying? So all that money you down at the Piggly Wiggly stacking up, you at the Walmart putting stuff up on the shelf, and when you look at your check, who the hell is FICA? Who the hell is FICA? FICA took your money, gave it to the U.S. Treasury. They wrote a check under Biden and sent it to Zelensky's wife, or he gave it to Zelensky so he can buy her a Bugatti. I'm sure some yachts and things up in there too. Nevertheless, if this is true, this would mean that the billions of taxpayer dollars have been misused for personal gain while American families struggle with inflation and rising costs. You can't buy eggs, they buying Bugattis. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, I don't think we like that. So this is really what went down. And a lot of Americans are like, hold on. You see what I'm saying? We already in the age of Doge anyway. We want our money. We want to see somebody going to jail. You see what I'm saying? So the question is, we shouldn't really be funding this Ukraine war unless we're getting some out of it in return. And I think most Americans can agree with that. Now, again, I think it's fair to say that Americans are fed up with every time Hot Pants comes over here, we got to give him some money. He doesn't dress like a leader. He's not ready to do business. He's dressed like a guy stopping by to pick up a check. Got sweatshirts and cargo pants, right? This is not how you show up when you asking for billions of dollars. Okay, I'm just saying. Now, I ain't never asked nobody for $1 billion. I probably didn't hit some people up. Let me hold 20 to next Thursday when I get my check. Understand me? If I can hold 20 next Thursday when I get my check, I'll make sure I pay you back, and I throw a little some extra in there for you. But you showed up in some sweatpants, okay, looking like a Russian mafia gangster. And now you mad. Now you mad because you got told no. Okay, that's where we at now. You mad because you came in there looking for some money, and you was like, And we like, nah, Playboy, nah, you're gonna have to give up something. All right. But I think we're pretty tired of it as Americans. I think we're pretty tired. I mean, we've given these people billions of dollars for weapons and supplies, and it's basically an unpaid bill. We just gave away the money. Really? Who does that? If we had a credit score with the U.S., right? If we had it, it would be about 250 deep in debt with no sign of repayment. Okay. And at this point, it's time for Zelenskyy to work out a payment plan, right? And we don't have any more money to give this man. Okay. Here's another thing you need to understand about this man. Zelenskyy wants more U.S. money and weapons to keep fighting Russia, even though the war is pushing towards a world towards something like a nuclear crisis. And if fighting continues, Russia could see the U.S. as a direct enemy. And that puts all of us in danger behind this fool over here who want to keep fighting so they can get that little strip of land back. And they're not going to get it. They're going to hold that L. Okay? And we need to be honest about something. Biden started this mess when he handed out billions of dollars with zero accountability. It sent a message that America was just going to be an ATM machine for Ukraine. And now Zelenskyy expects that to continue. But Trump is saying, no more blank checks, no more free money. And now, here's the thing. I understand what Trump was trying to do with the mineral deal. Yes, there's real business to be done. America deserves something in return, or we just been giving money for free, okay? But and the other thing is Zelenskyy has no leverage in this deal. Putin holds the high ground, and so does the United States. Ukraine cannot survive with U.S. aid. This isn't a true partnership. If one side gives everything, while the other side just sitting there taking, then that's not a partnership, okay? Now, again, Zelenskyy needs to show some respect, or he should have, okay? And we should negotiate like he should negotiate like a leader, not being here begging and like a desperate man trying to shame people into giving him more money. You see? Because the American public is watching. Needs to act serious, act like a world leader. Stop being over here begging. Again, you saw Lindsey Graham. I expected him, as all the Republicans should come together and say, hey, this is not cool. You had some other senators, Tommy Tuberville. And again, these are Republicans. I expect them to be on the side of Zelenskyy, but they had some harsh words. Like I said, Tommy Tuberville said, Ukrainian weasel. That's what he called Zelenskyy a weasel. And he praised Trump and basically said that America is not going to be granting any more free checks out to people. But everybody, but not everybody got the message. There was some Republicans who are still clinging to outdated ideas, thinking we should keep sending money to Ukraine without getting anything in return. Senator Lisa Murkowski, she accused Trump of abandoning allies and siding with troops. No, we didn't abandon him. He didn't want to sign that paper. We want our money back. You understand what I'm saying? That's the difference between putting country first and putting your party first. We want our money back. On behalf of all the American people, we want our $350 billion back plus interest. You see what I'm saying? And the truth is, what really happened was Trump simply called Zelensky's bluff. See, as he said, Zelenskyy overplayed his hand and it backfired. Now, the thing is, before leaving Florida, Trump told reporters that Zelenskyy had overplayed his hand, and y'all heard him say it himself. And Zelenskyy thought he could just use the media to pressure the U.S., but, at the end of the day, Trump thinks the media is just fake news. He checks them all the time. But he wanted to use political tricks and emotional blackmail to try to force Trump's hand, but that didn't work. You see what I mean? And so that's why when it was over, he said, you got to get up out of here. You got to leave, homeboy. You got to roll up out of here, man. This is, what this is like? This is like it's like an ex-girlfriend who wants to argue about things from 9 years ago. Instead of working out a deal, he was too busy trying to fact check and pick fights. It didn't work. It failed miserably, and now he got to go. Now, here's the thing I need you to understand. Trump wants to stop the war. That's what the man said. I take him at his word. See, it's about sending young men to die. He said that. It's about sending young men to die for nothing. Right now, thousands of Ukrainians and thousands of Russians, many of them are just teenagers at this point. Did y'all see this video that I put up here? Let me show you what they're doing. They are literally snatching these youngsters off the street. Can you imagine if you were a mom? Okay, let me see if I want to make sure I play this out, man. Let me Let me see if I can find this video again. Because I think this is it right here. Let me see if
I think Mr. President.
Hold on 1 minute. Let me see if I can play this video. You guys saw it earlier, but basically this is what's going on over there in the Ukraine. They're literally snatching people off the street. Look at this. I want y'all to look at this, man. And you can hear the boy screaming in the background. That's his mama right there with the red shirt on. You hear him screaming? Throwing him in, taking him to the front line. He's a kid. All right? This is their recruiting. This is how they're getting recruits. Here's another one. Right here. I guess him and his friend was walking into a building and he don't want to go. Look at this recruiter. We call him recruiter. Bam! Right in the chest. Boom! Right in the kidney. Boom! Floating rib. Rear naked choke. Boom! Kidney shot. Ooh! Low kick. Damn. And this is my man. He just done. You know what I'm saying? So this is what's really going on. And this is what JD Vance was saying when he's saying you are literally you're conscripting people. That's what he meant. So this is a very ugly war. You see what I mean? And this is what these white folk in the White House fighting. This is what these white folk in the White House fighting about. Okay? Right? They aren't fighting because they believe in the cause. They're fighting because their governments want these teenagers, right? These kids. They don't believe in this. The government is not giving them a chance. I understand. They can't go anywhere. And Trump wants to come put an end to it. While Biden and the warmongers, right, who kept throwing billions of dollars into the fire, Trump understands that the real leadership necessary is to stop the unaliving, not fuel it more. He wants to end the war. I can't do nothing but respect that. I respect that because I got young boys. I got sons. You understand me? And I have family that went to the military. And see, the media won't tell you this truth. And see, this is the thing. This is why it's important to have spaces like YouTube where we can really talk about the truth. See, I'm not, and I told y'all earlier, I am a registered Democrat. I am still a Democrat. I'm a lifelong Democrat. Even in this past election, I voted for Democrats. I voted for Donald Trump as president. I voted for a few senators who are Republican, but I vote the interest. You understand what I'm saying? Vote my interest. Okay? But they won't tell you this. These folk go one way or the other. So this is where I'm at. We're going to talk about it. See, the media won't tell you this about both Ukraine and Russia, and they're both desperate for troops. So see, even though Ukraine is doing that, so is Russia. They snatching folk up off the street. You got military police are dragging young men off the streets in Ukraine, ripping them from their families and shoving them on the battlefield. Teenagers. Many of them don't even have any training. They just give them that blammer and a one-way trip to the front lines. In Russia, men have been taken from their homes and their jobs and even grocery stores just to be thrown in the war machine. And if they refuse, they get imprisoned or worse. These men aren't professional soldiers. They don't want to fight. They don't want to die, but the governments don't care. This isn't war, it's a slaughter. So the question is, who benefits from this? It's not the Ukrainian people. Their cities are in ruins, their families are broken, and their future is uncertain. It's not the Russian people. They've lost entire generations of young men, thousands coming back in body bags and parts. Okay? And then what about us as Americans? We burned through $350 billion in taxpayer money. And what do we have to show for it? So the question you have to ask yourself, who really benefits? Hot Pants, Zelensky, or Zelenskyy. Okay, he keeps getting billions of foreign aid, and as long as the war continues, he gets to stay in power. He gets to be at the darling of the left, right? Biden and the Democrats, they use Ukraine as a political game piece while ignoring America's real problems. The military-industrial complex is winning. The war machine keeps printing billions in profits for defense and contractors and weapon manufacturers, so they winning too. Meanwhile, who's paying for it? Those soldiers are paying for it. Those civilians over there are paying for it. They're caught in the middle, and we're paying for it as a tax, American taxpayer. Trump isn't playing these games with these people. He wants peace, no more body bags. Okay? In other words, he's trying to force Ukraine and Russia to negotiate. No more excuses, no more delays. Sit down, find a way to work this doggone war out. End the forced conscription. No more grabbing young men off the streets so they can go die in the war that they never asked for. Okay? Rebuild Ukraine instead of destroying it. Instead of sending billions to buy more weapons, use the money to help return these people to their homes. In the war, in the war. You see, and Trump is not going to play soft. If Russia refuses to negotiate, then they'll face some real economic pressure. But the goal is peace, man, not an endless war. Now, the thing is, again, I want to go back and see, the media wants you to believe that Russia just woke up one day and decided we're going to invade Ukraine. That's a lie. We went back 30 years. I'm going to go a little bit more into detail about that. Let's go back to 1992, after the Soviet Union collapsed. America decided, hey, we the biggest, baddest thing on the planet. We're the only superpower. We in charge. So by 94, Clinton broke his promises to Russia and started expanding NATO. The North American Strategic, is it Alliance? I don't know. I forget what the organization. And so throughout the, shout out to Black Sand. And throughout the late 90s and the 2000s, NATO swallowed up all these former Soviet territories. And it started creeping closer and closer to Russia's border. And guess what they put on these territories? They put missiles, they put bases. So now you got surrounded. Imagine if China put a base, you go down to Tijuana, it's damn Chinese flags up and military, men in military uniforms from China. They in Toronto, they in Cuba, they in the Dominican Republic, hell, they are in Mexico, all these little military bases around it. You'd be like, hold on a minute, what are y'all trying to do? And so that's what happens when the Soviet Union breaks up, and then these other former countries, now countries which were part of the Union, are now NATO members. Guess what? Now they got all these folks around them. They have all these bases with all these foreign soldiers that don't like them. And so again, Zygmunt, I think his name is Zbigniew Brzezinski, he talked about it, and this was the plan of Washington all along. So what we're saying is Russia, we knew Russia wasn't going to tolerate that, but we did it anyway, because like, you can't stop us. Okay. And Washington thought it could do whatever the heck it wanted to do without consequences. And for decades, Europe just sat back and said, all right, cool. Right? Because again, Europe is our puppet. Okay. Let's not pretend Europe has anything to say. They don't have nothing to say. You keep getting invaded. You keep getting whooped on. All right. They nothing they can do about it. Now, they could have stopped this war before it started. Instead, they chose to follow Washington's orders under Biden. And when NATO expanded, Europe said they didn't say anything. And when the U.S. interfered in Ukraine in 2014, Europe stood by and did nothing. Okay. And then when Zelenskyy refused to negotiate in 2022, Europe stayed silent. You see, because remember, Zelenskyy issued something like an executive order saying we are not negotiating with Russia. And so they haven't. Now you got Trump in here pushing peace, and Europe is all automatically suddenly panicking now. All right, they don't want to act on their own because they never have had to. They do what America tells them to, and even if it destroys their economies and weakens their own security, because they have to. Because if we don't get that back, nobody else will. And if you actually look at the history, you know that this wasn't an unprovoked war, and it's about to get real nasty up in here. I want y'all to, it's gonna burn your ears in a minute. All my black folks, just hang in there, okay? But the bottom line is this war is a result of a lot of broken promises and reckless NATO expansion and our U.S. arrogance from 3 decades ago. You understand what I'm saying? So here's the thing. What we're trying to get to is no more deaths, no more destruction, and no more blank checks. Now, let's turn a little bit, okay? Now, the mainstream media, they love to paint Ukraine as this perfect democracy, right? That's what you hadn't heard anything. Any bad story about Ukraine, they bury it. It's just a struggling nation fighting against this big Russian bear But here's what they won't tell you. Ukraine has a serious Nazi problem. Yeah. I'm not talking about Kanye West walking around here with a Nazi swastika on his shirt. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about actual neo-Nazi movement inside Ukraine. The far-right parties and the military units have been embraced by the government and funded by the West. And this is not a conspiracy theory. This isn't Russian propaganda. This is documented fact. Now, for decades, the Ukraine has harbored an ultra-nationalist, neo-fascist group that openly worships Nazi collaborators from World War II. The most infamous political party linked to the movement is something called the Swoboda. That's SVOBODA. And they were formerly known as the Social National Party of Ukraine. And the Svoboda, their founder, Ole Tenyakov, I can't say the name, he openly called for Ukraine to get rid of what he calls the Muscovite Jewish mafia. The party's original logo was literally the wolf's angel, a Nazi symbol used by the SS divisions in World War II. Shout out to Black Sand. And the Svoboda glorifies Stefan Bandera. That guy was a Nazi collaborator. And I'm going to say Yahtzee from now on because I know, YouTube is going to blow me up for this one. So we just going to say Yahtzee, Yahtzee, Yahtzee. But you know what I mean, okay? He was a Yahtzee collaborator whose forces helped carry out the massacre of Jewish people, Polish people, and other minorities in Ukraine. And the party has been described as deeply anti-Semitic, ultra-nationalist, and neo-fascist. And we've got members who repeatedly make racist, xenophobic statements. Now, some will say, but the Shavada isn't in power anymore. Okay? And that's probably true. But the ideology never disappeared. You don't think them people you think they just stopped being racist because they lost political power? No, it just moved to the Ukraine military and it moved to the streets. That's where it went. You understand me? The actual name of the battalion is called I believe it's called the Azov Battalion. Okay? And the most notorious of these groups are the Azov Battalion. And it's a paramilitary unit that was absorbed in the Ukraine's National Guard in 2014. And the Azov's founder, Andriy Belitsky, he once declared that Ukraine's national mission is to lead the white races of the world in a final crusade against the Semite-led Untermenschen. Okay? That's what this man said. And the unit's fighters proudly display Nazi symbols, including SS, lightning bolts, and swastikas. And the reports indicate that the Azov have engaged in torture, war crimes, and violent attacks on minorities. You know what I'm saying? And the U.S. Congress was so concerned about the Azov that it banned any U.S. military aid from going to them in 2018. And yet, somehow, these are the people that Biden and Hot Pants Zelensky want us to support. I want you to listen now. Listen. It's not just isolated groups. The Ukrainian government itself has been whitewashing and glorifying Nazi collaborators for years. There are dozens of statues in the streets named after Stephen Bandera, the Nazi-aligned leader responsible for ethnic cleansing campaigns. And the Ukrainian government officials have participated in SS Waffen marches, celebrating Ukrainian soldiers who fought alongside Hitler during World War II. These Ukrainian lawmakers have repeatedly made these anti-Semitic remarks, with some even referring to the Holocaust as a bright period of history. They slaughtered thousands of people. Now imagine if Germany started honoring former SS soldiers, or if the US start putting up statues of KKK leaders. I think we would be outraged. But when Ukraine does it, it's silent. And see, the media won't tell you What the media wants you to believe is that Russia just woke up one day and decided to invade Ukraine out of just some pure evil. But remember, Russia fought against the Nazis in World War II. I just want you to keep that in mind. Russia was our ally against Germany. The Nazis tried to invade Russia and failed miserably. Everybody tries to invade Russia, fails. It's too damn cold in Russia. But look, let's keep it real. Russia had been warning us in the world about Ukraine's Nazi problem for years. After the 2014 Ukrainian neo-Nazi Yahtzee openly attacked these in 2014, look it up. The Ukrainian neo-Nazis openly attacked ethnic Russians in eastern Ukraine. So what I'm trying to explain to you all is this. So in Ukraine, it touches the border of Russia. You have people who are Russian who happen to live on that side of the border. And they're ethnically Russian because Russia is a very diverse country, is, very diverse, huge piece of land, very diverse. But these neo-Nazis attacked these Russians in eastern Ukraine, which is the land that they took back. These are why people are, we're going to go ahead and take this back. They burned pro-Russian activists, burned them. Yes, burned them, bodies, alive in Odessa. They bombed civilian areas in a city called Donetsk and Luhansk for nearly a decade. This is what they did. And Russia wasn't just invading for no reason. They saw what was happening in Ukraine and didn't want a Western-backed Nazi regime, Yahtzee regime, on their border. And now, does this mean putting some kind of hero? No, I'm absolutely not saying that. Not at all. At all. Okay? I have no opinion on all. I'm America first. I'm just giving you the history. Look it up. It's on the internet. Look at the newspaper articles. Just Google it. I'm not trying to pretend that Russia is some kind of hero, right? Look, I'm not doing that, okay? But if you pretend like Russia doesn't have, if you think they just have zero legitimate concerns about what's happening in Ukraine on their border, that's just intellectually dishonest. So I'm not going to do that either. All right, now let's be clear. The U.S. and NATO knew exactly who they were arming in Ukraine. They knew about Savada. They knew about Azov. They knew about the ultra-nationalist movement under Biden, and yet they kept sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. Why? Because Washington doesn't care about democracy. Okay, let's just keep it 100. They care about using Ukraine as a tool to weaken Russia. They ignored Ukraine's Nazi problem. They covered it up, and when it became obvious, and they kept throwing American tax dollars into a war that only benefits corrupt politicians and military-industrial complex. As long as Russia is fighting Ukraine and depleting its resources and wealth, we win. That's what Biden was thinking. That's what those people in Washington, just let them keep fighting each other and they deplete their resources. We don't care about dying. Okay, and so now here comes President Trump and Zelensky wins because he's like, I get to be president. Just keep paying me money. I'll keep depleting their resources. President Trump knows the truth about Ukraine. Anybody with good sense who's done it, hell, just do some research. Google it. Go to some reputable articles and read about it. But again, Trump knows the truth about Ukraine. He knows that the U.S. should not be sending billions of dollars to a corrupt, Nazi-infested country. That's why he wants to stop the war and also to stop the killing. Look, it's a simple plan. End the war through negotiation. Make Ukraine and Russia sit down. No more stalling, no more games. Cut the funding off to these Ukrainian neo-Nazis. No more American taxpayer dollars going to extremist groups. Tell Europe to handle its own problems. And if NATO wants to keep backing Ukraine, they can pay for it themselves. Focus on fixing America instead of sending billions of dollars to the Ukraine. Trump wants to spend money on fixing our borders, our economy, and our military. And see, now the truth is out here. But the media refuses to talk about it. The mainstream media, they want you to believe that Ukraine is just helpless, this little democracy fighting against this evil empire. But the reality is much uglier. Ukraine has a problem. Okay, Russia didn't just invade for no reason. Yes, it's up now that we're here. We're gonna keep what we can. And the U.S. and NATO need to know about this. You all, as the American public, and me too, need to understand what's really going on. See, this is what's really happening now. Here's the thing I need you to understand. I'm about to bring this on home. Family. Now, some of y'all was like, well, We understand. But, we black people. Shout out to all the foundation of Black American people. Yeah, we understand that. But, this is not our problem, right? We think that you associate, the Yahtzees with, World War II and Hitler. I'm going to say Hitler and the extermination of the Jewish people in the Holocaust. That's it. But, that's under the Third Reich. That ain't got nothing to do with us, right? When you see the swastika and SS uniforms and concentration camps over in Europe, you assume that's just Nazi ideology, right? Something that that affects white people. That's what you thought. But that belief is dangerous. And the truth is, the horrors of the Holocaust didn't start in Europe. Okay, now I'm about to hit all y'all in the mouth. All right, y'all ready to get punched in the mouth? Because typically, if you guys who read my books, and you can get my book Amazon, read my books. I actually have copies. Actually, if anybody wants to buy a copy of my book, and what I was going to say is the best way to get somebody's attention is to punch them in the mouth. Now, you might not like the result of that, okay, because they're going to swing back. But I'm going to go ahead and punch y'all in the mouth right quick, especially for you folk who think that we are not involved in this. Let me share with you this video, okay? Somebody type, well, let me say it like this. A lot of folk think that the horrors of the Holocaust under the German people started in Europe, but that's not true. It started in Africa. It started in Africa, long before Auschwitz, long before Dachau, long before Treblinka. Germany perfected its tactics of genocide on black bodies in Namibia, which is right below the Congo. Many of my foundational Black American brothers and sisters, if you are a descendant of slaves, you have relatives and blood in Namibia. And there's a place called Shark Island. It's on the southwest, in Southwest Africa. It wasn't just a concentration camp. It was the prototype for the Nazi death camps. It was a place where Germans tested the very same racial theories and mass extermination tactics and brutal medical experience that would be used during the Holocaust. Think about that. The Nazis didn't invent white supremacy. They refined it. And they started with us. Let's go ahead and look at this video footage. I want y'all to check this out. Y'all ready? Are we still here? Y'all here? Let me know. Are we still here? Let me know. Are we still here? Okay. Check this out. Let me know if you can hear the video. I'm going to type fair use so we can, this is from DW News here. I'll try to make the screen bigger. Somebody type Shark Island. I told you it's going to learn something. I told you it's going to take a heck of a twist in here somewhere. It's going to make you have to wake up. All right, I'm going to let it play. Let me know if you can hear it. Fair use.
After 5 years of negotiations, Germany and Namibia have reached a compensation deal for the genocide committed by German colonial troops more than a century ago. But descendants of victims of the massacres reject the €1 billion agreement. DW Africa went to the village in Namibia where a German general gave the order for his men to kill tens of thousands of Africans. Our correspondent, Adrian Krish, takes up the story.
Let me know. Are you guys able to hear this? Let me know if you can hear it. Can y'all hear it? Yeah, fair use. Can you guys hear that? Can you guys hear that? Before I proceed, I want to make sure everybody can hear. Can you hear it? Hit the number 1 button if you can hear. Hit the number 1 button if you can hear it. Let me know. I don't know if you guys, okay, y'all can hear it. Let's go.
This is an emotional place for many Herero. Here in the village of Ochinene, they call this tree Gauthepo. Hundreds of Herero prisoners of war were hanged here by German troops.
That you just go through the neck.
Look at that.
And they hang them. Sadness? Yes, no doubt. That a human being could actually be doing this.
Fair use.
For what reason? For the reason that our ancestors simply stood up and refused to give up what belonged to them, namely their land.
You guys listening? Can y'all hear it? I want to make sure everybody can hear it. Let me know. Fair use. Let's continue listening.
More than 100 years ago, German soldiers killed almost 100,000 Herero and Nama in the former colony of German Southwest Africa. In 1904, Lothar von Trotha gave the so-called extermination order. It included women and children.
1904, they killed 100,000 Africans. 1904. Some of y'all, if you had grandparents who lived all the way up until their 80s, in the 1980s, they were alive at this point. You see? 100,000, they never hear about this. This is what the Nazis did. This is the precursor to the Nazis. This is 1904.
Now Germany wants to recognize for development.
They're giving $1.1 billion in reparations to these people for what they did. And guess what? The blood they like, nah, we reject
the governments negotiated without Rukoro.
That's a deal between two governments, a la development aid. It has nothing to do.
I don't want to get copyright strikes, so I'm gonna speed it up a little bit, okay, guys? I know you guys probably might find this annoying, but I'm gonna speed it up a little bit just so we don't get any copyright issues.
For reparations, they are fooling us. We are not fools.
Rukoro, a former attorney general in Namibia, and his supporters are still considering legal action. But previous attempts have already failed.
All right, so we kind of get the point. There's some more videos I can share with you guys. I think I will. Let me run this one up real quick. Y'all hit the #1 button if you can hear it. If you can't hear it, let me know. Let me know relatively quickly so that I can reset it as necessary. But let me know if you can hear the video. I'm actually going to play some sound in the background so we can kind of throw it off. Y'all, let me know if you can hear it. Let me fix that. I couldn't even see it. Give me a second. All right, somebody type Namibia in the chat room. Somebody type Shark Island in the chat room. Okay, somebody type Namibia in the chat room. All right, let's keep listening.
Nearly half a century after the genocide in Namibia, the Herero's tribes and Nama are demanding for justice. For long, the murderers has remained ignored, both in Europe and Africa, but the facts not disputed. According to historians, in 1904, about 80,000 Hereros out of the population of 100 were massacred, deported, and exterminated on order of General Lothar von Trotha. To save their lives, many native people fled to neighboring Botswana. Veronica is a descendant of Herero survivors. The Germans did suffer my grandmother. She had to flee. She grew up abroad. She was forced to speak another
It's called Herero
language. We live in poverty because of what they did to us at the time. We want repairs. We want them to dignify our land. Negotiations are in the course with the government in order to obtain a formal apology and repairs.
I don't expect anything from this negotiation because they are suspect from day one. The way they are crafted, this Namibia that the Namas and Hereros were affected.
So they're playing games. Shout out to DT, okay?
Negotiations are flawed from the beginning to the end.
The traditional.
All right. So that being the case, I just simply wanted to introduce you to that. Look up Shark Island concentration camps, and you can learn for yourself. But if this is your first time hearing about this, about what the Nazis did, what the Germans did, type #1 in the chat room. This is your first time learning about this. Hit #1, because this ain't something we learned during Black History. We showed them. Most Africans don't know about it, no matter what part of Africa they're from or what kind of education they have. If this is your first time learning about this, hit the #1 button. Let me know. Okay, all right, cool. So yeah, we're on the right path. So look, what I'm trying to explain to y'all is this is why we can't afford to just ignore history, because what happens to Jews in the 1940s, it wasn't the first time it was done. Black people, Africans, okay, had to deal with it in the early 1900s. And the world has spent over a century trying to erase this truth. So today we're going to talk about genocide, you know, one that you would never taught. Well, we're going to talk about how the Shark Island was the original Nazi death camp. We're going to talk about how Germans used black bodies to advocate their racist ideologies, and how these neo-Nazis, or those Nazis at the time, used it to advocate. So the thing is, when we talk about Nazis and genocide, right? And keep in mind, the Germans weren't the only place that the Nazis were. Remember, they after the war, they ran off to Venice, they ran off to South America, Argentina, they were all over Poland, they were everywhere. All right. And the world immediately thinks of World War II and the Jewish Holocaust when you talk about Nazis and genocide. But what most people, especially black people, don't realize is that Germans these Nazis perfected the methods of mass murder before Hitler. Shout out to Joshua and Ben Joseph. Okay, before Hitler showed up, they practiced the Holocaust in Africa and shot in Namibia. Right before Auschwitz, before the gas chambers, before the swastikas, before the symbols of terror, these people tested their racial superiority theories and extermination tactics and concentration camps on African soil. It's not a conspiracy, it's a historical fact. Again, here's the skimmy. Between 1904 and 1908, right, the German Empire filled up with these precursors to the Scotsies, the Yahtzees. They carried out one of the first genocides in the 20th century, a systematic slaughter of the Herero people and the Nama people in Nambia. And it was then known as German Southwest Africa. And it started on January 12th, 1904, when the Herero people rebelled against the German colonial rule. The Germans had taken their land, taken their cattle, and they turned them into debt slaves. And they was like, enough of this. And so there was a rebellion led by a man named Chief Samuel Maharo. But the Germans responded with extreme brutality, beyond even comprehension. And their leader, the German leader, his name was Lothar von Trotha. He was a ruthless German commander, and he was sent to exterminate the Herero people. Shout out to Eddie B. And he issued his infamous extermination order, and it basically said the Herero are no longer German subjects. They must leave the country, and if they refuse, they will be shot. People have been on their land for thousands of years. You see what I'm saying? And basically, the Herero people were driven into the desert. Many of them died from thirst, dehydration, and the ones that survived were sent to concentration camps, including the deadliest one known as Shark Island. And in 1905, the Nama people rebelled, and von Trotha unleashed the same horrors on them. And so by 1908, 80% of the Herero population and 50% of the Nama people had been exterminated. And so again, Shark Island is off the coast of Namibia. It's one of the first concentration camps ever created. And by calling it a concentration camp, it doesn't even do it justice. It was a slaughterhouse. It was a human experiment laboratory. It was a death camp. Men and women and children were starved. They were beaten. They were worked to death. Prisoners were fed uncooked rice. It led to mass malnutrition and disease, typhoid, scurvy, dysentery. These diseases wiped out thousands of people. Germans raped African women. They unalived babies and children. They executed prisoners just for they did it for fun. These African people were beaten with whips. They were literally left out in the sun to rot. And one of the German visitors, his name was August Kulam, he was horrified at what he saw. He said a woman was too weak from illness to stand. So she's down on her knees. She's crawling around on the ground begging for water. and one of the German soldiers just shot her 5 times. 2 bullets struck her, one shattered her arm, so she crawled around on the floor, and somebody shoots her arm out from under, and the other one ripped through her thigh. She just bled out and died right there. And I ain't talked about the medical experiments. This wasn't just an invasion. See, it wasn't just enough for these Yazis to kill the Herero Nama. They wanted to use their suffering to advance their racist theories. And these doctors, these Yahtzee doctors, they perform horrible medical experiments on black folk over there. Just like the Yahtzees did in Auschwitz. There was a person named Eugene Fischer, a German scientist. He conducted race studies on the Herero skulls. He measured them to try to prove that they were inferior to Europeans. They captured women and forced the women to scrape the flesh off of the skulls of their own dead relatives so that they could be shipped to Germany for scientific research. In other words, they decapitated people. Then they put their heads in boiling water, boil the flesh off of. I know this is hard to listen to. I'm trying to tell you. I'm just telling you. But this is what we're talking about. These are the Yahtzees. These same Yahtzees that our country has been sending money to over in Ukraine. They just relocated. Okay, black folks, this is the Democratic Party. These are the people the Democratic Party is supporting, the Yahtzees. I just want you to hear. Nevertheless, some of these skulls are still, was sent to these German universities, and they were used to justify the sick idea of racial superiority, the same idea that later fueled Hitler's Yahtzee ideology. This is not some forgotten footnote in history. This was a Holocaust. This is where the Holocaust began. And many of these same German officers that butchered the Herero and the Nama later became key figures in Germany. Heinrich Göring, he was the father of Hermann Göring. And this was Hitler's second in command, the governor of Southwest Africa. This is who this man was. Eugene Fischer, a racial studies inspired the Nazi eugenics policies, including sterilization of undesirable races. The methods of mass extermination, forced labor, starvation, medical experimentation were pioneered in Namibia in Africa, and they were used later in Auschwitz, Dachau, and Dachau and Treblinka. None of this was a coincidence. They learned this in Shark Island. The Germans never even fully paid for the genocide. Unlike the Holocaust, which Germany acknowledged and apologized for and paid reparations for, the Namibian genocide has been ignored. It wasn't until 2021, 4 years ago, that Germany finally admitted it was a genocide. But all they offered was $1 billion in development aid instead of some real reparations. And you still have the Herero people and the Nama descendants right down there. They rejected it. They had too much pride for that. They call it an insult to their ancestors. And even today, Germany still refuses to fully acknowledge its role in one of the first Holocausts of the 20th century. Now listen here. Y'all learning something today? Let me know if you learning something. But my foundational Black American brothers and sisters, I want you to hear me something. So when you hear folk playing with this Yahtzee ideology, people like Kanye West, okay, you should care. When you hear that our government is sending billions of dollars, I don't care if it's Democrat or Republican, but in this case, Joe Biden and the Democrat, when you hear they're sending billions of dollars to a country that has a Yahtzee party or a Yahtzee stream going on, recognize that they were not just unaliving the Jewish people. Their ideology was rooted in the same racist beliefs that had been used to oppress African people or Black people for centuries. The same racial science used to justify the extermination of the Herero people and the Nama people was later used to justify apartheid in South Africa. The same eugenics theories tested in Namibia were later used to justify the sterilization of Black and indigenous people in the United States. Shout out to Devon Mitchell. The same colonial mindset that led to Shark Island is still present today, whether it's in these European companies exploiting African resources or Western nations ignoring the suffering of Black people worldwide. The Yahtzees did not invent white supremacy. They perfected it. Germany's first genocide was in Africa. The Yahtzees down in Africa then brought that up to Germany. And now you got the same Yahtzee mindset in Ukraine. And we need to remember that. Because if we don't, then history will repeat itself. Look, no more forgetting. No more ignoring the truth. No more letting the West rewrite history because it hurts their feelings to think about the horrible things they did. The fight against racism and bigotry and this level of insanity it didn't start in 1945, and it's definitely not over in 2025. Now, are y'all still with me? Did I run y'all off? Let me know. Are you learning something? Did you learn something? Because I got more to say. I got plenty to say. But now that you know the history, the real question is, what are you going to do with it? Because, see, this isn't just about history books and forgotten massacres. This is about the world we live in right now. This is about who we support, who we allow into our communities, and whether or not we are truly voting in our own best interest as foundational Black Americans. See, this blind loyalty to the Democratic Party, it needs to end. Blind loyalty to any party needs to end. Black people in America have been blindly following the Democratic Party for decades. We vote blue no matter who, without ever stopping to ask, what are you actually doing for us? Or are you really fighting for our interests, or are they just using us as a voting bloc? Why do you keep supporting people who refuse to support us? And right now, we have to ask, why is the Democratic Party so invested in supporting Ukraine? I mean, the Democratic Party is supporting neo-Nazis. That's what they got over there. Why are they okay with that? They have a problem. Ukraine has they have a Yahtzee problem over there. I'm talking about an actual neo-Nazi problem. People openly hate Black people. People who worship Adolf Hitler. They got a long history, a centuries-old history of anti-Black racism. Shout out to Yahshua Ben Joseph. And even though we delineate ourselves as foundational Black Americans, they don't. And yet, old man Biden and the Democrat Party, along with Kamala Harris, would have been perfectly fine with sending them billions of dollars and sending them more billions of dollars of our hard-earned taxpayer dollars, which includes the money of the foundational Black American people and all the other Black people in the United States. You just gonna send them our money, these people, to help them keep fighting Russia? The same Russia who said, nah, we're gonna get rid of these Yahtzees over there in Ukraine. Now, I'm not saying run out there and start supporting Russia. That is definitely not what I'm saying. Russia is not necessarily the good guy. But what I'm saying is, why are Black people supporting the Ukrainians and against Donald Trump, who's trying to end this damn war? Ask yourself this. Why is the Democrat Party telling you that Russia is the enemy, but Ukraine is the good guy? Why are they telling you that? Huh? Because if we're honest, it's not in our best interest to help Ukraine at all. I'm talking about my foundational Black American brothers and sisters. It is not in our best interest to help Ukraine. Do you want Ukrainians coming over here? I don't, and neither should you. I don't want Ukrainians coming to America if that's how they feel. And it's shout out to Yashua Ben Joseph and Randy Harris. Let me get up here and tight. I do not want a bunch of Ukrainians coming over here because they done lost their country. And as far as the foundation of Black America, you shouldn't either. Because we already know what's going to happen. The U.S. government is going to bring them over here by the thousands. They're going to be given special protections and welfare and jobs and housing. They're going to come into our neighborhoods with their anti-Black, white supremacist Yahtzee ideology that they practice in Ukraine. And like every other immigrant group before them, right? They're going to come and step on us to get ahead. And let's not pretend it didn't happen before. Let's keep it 100. We've seen this movie many a times. The Irish did it when they were conscripted and into fighting in the Civil War. Most of them were up in the East Coast of New York. They said, I'm not fighting for the N-words. I'm fighting for Uncle Sam. That's what the Irish said. God bless the Irish, right? The Italians, as dark as they were, hell, most Italians, especially the ones in Sicily, the reason they are so olive tone is because they were invaded by the Moors multiple times. So they got some Black in them too, but they discriminated against Black folk too. Ironically, they were discriminated against first, but then they became white, and then they turned against Black Americans. The Polish, the Germans, they did the same thing, hating on us while benefiting from the civil rights field. And we have had a deep conversations about Latinos, Mexicans, Venezuelans, all of them. They come over here and suddenly Black people are losing jobs and opportunities. The people who disrespect us, outnumber us, and don't even hire us, and have a specific mantra that says blanco miento, better the race, which means whiten the race. Hell, even some of our African and Caribbean brothers and sisters, I'm not letting y'all off the hook. We talking about all these immigrants. You come over here, you say we don't have any culture, and you look down on us, calling us lazy. Somebody type a kata in the chat room. Somebody type work harder. Somebody type work harder in the chat room. Taking advantage of our struggles that we fought for. So why in the heck would we support bringing more immigrants over, especially the Ukrainians, knowing that they have a virulent strand of actual history of Yahtzee ideology? No, the smartest thing for foundational Black Americans to do is to hope that this war ends very soon so that them folk can stay right where they are right now. We do not want them coming over here, okay? We got enough racial epithets. We get called racial epithets by every damn language. It look like every group of people on the planet got a racial epithet for us. I was just heartbroken when I found out the doggone Samoans got racial epithets as Black as they are. The Samoans, these big nosed, nappy-headed island people from the middle of the damn Pacific. Y'all want to talk about us? Really? And we know they part Black. That's why they stopped off at, what was it? As they made their way out of Africa, they stopped off in an island. And those people stayed there. And then shout out to Quantum South. Then some more Asians came along and they stopped off there and they interbreed with them. And that group of people then went off to Samoa. We know y'all is mostly Black with your big noses. Nevertheless, everybody seemed to talk bad about Black people. So damn, stay where you are. But as far as my brothers and sisters, Black people, we need to start questioning the Democratic Party. The fact that the Democratic Party is so pro-Ukrainian and anti-Russia should make every Black person stop and think. Somebody say, in the chat room. Let's be real. What has Russia done to us? Russia isn't trying to bring millions of anti-black racists to our community. Russia isn't funding the police to over-police and brutalize us. Russia isn't forcing gender confusion, open borders, and economic destruction in our community. Russia isn't constantly using us for votes while giving us nothing in return. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party is doing all of those things. And I'm still a Democrat. So again, let me tell you again, why are we supporting the Democrats just blindly? Look, vote for who you want to vote. Vote your interest, okay? But what that means is think for yourself. Being an FBA means understanding that no one is going to put you first except you. That means stop this blind loyalty to the Democrat Party. They got you voting for the Yahtzees. They sending your money to the Yahtzees, and the Yahtzees don't like your black behind. We need to begin to question who and what they're really supporting. And that means looking at the facts, not the propaganda. That means making your own votes count for our own interests, not someone else's. And right now, our interest is not aligned with Ukraine. Our interest is in protecting our communities, keeping out hostile immigrants, and making sure our tax dollars go toward building our future in our communities right here in America, not funding foreign wars for neo-Nazis. These Democrats have shown you who they really are. The question is, are you finally ready to believe them? Shout out to Joshua Ben Joseph. Now, that being the case, I ain't finished yet, but it's time for me to read the super chats and the cash apps. These are all the MVPs. If you learn something, I don't beg for nothing, okay? But if you learn something, then I should earn something. If you learn something, I should earn something. If you didn't learn nothing, fine. Some people just can't be taught. But either way, I want to thank everybody who contributed to the super chat. You clearly learned something. If you learn something, I should earn something. I wanted to make sure I got this out immediately. But shout out to Mario Walt. Shout out to Mr. Mario. Thank you for the cash app. Shout out to Mr. Rodney. Thank you for the cash app. You guys really appreciate that, y'all. When you contribute to the super chat, it lets me know you learned something. Then let me say, you know what I meant to do? What I meant to do was turn the subscriber only count on. I meant to put that on so that folk cannot comment unless you have subscribed to the channel for at least 2 minutes. But I forgot. I'm getting older, and sometimes I forget things. One day I'm gonna put it on there so I can get I need like 75 new subscribers so that I can be up to 75,000. Y'all been playing with me out here with these subscriptions. I need y'all to go ahead and make that happen right now. You understand me? Right now, I need 75 of you people. I said it, you people. I need 75 of you people to contribute, not contribute. Actually, I need you to subscribe. 75,000 people is what I'm looking for. I need 75 people to subscribe to my channel so I can get to 75,000. Make it happen. Do what I say. Anyway, again, shout out to all the people who contributed to the Cash App, the Super Chat, the PayPal. And I'm going to take the opportunity because, look, like I said, if you learn something, I should earn something. If you ain't got no money, that's fine. I ain't worried about that. But those of you who will, I appreciate it if you would. Now, that being the case, let me go ahead and give a big shout out to Ice Lords Assembles. Thank you, Mr. TIQS. Ben Brockton, we got 32 super chats, man. Y'all should give me at least a 35, baby. That's 3 more super chats. I know y'all learned something. I know you did. You ain't had nobody break it down like this before and put it in context. So thank you so much. Easy 7700. Also, Quantum Solace guest. I guess when these nations signed the oath of Confederacy centuries ago with Lady Liberty to become Confederate against our people, Psalm 83, I guess they never realized that exposure to the status quo is afoot. Thank you so much, brother. 100 watts radio. Damn, Don the Godfather. Don the Godfather. Thank you so much, fam. I appreciate you. Who else? We got 32 super chats. Let's try to get me to 35 before I finish this reading right here of all these super chats. That'd be good. We need 3 more. That'd be great. 32 is cool. 35 is live. Very little. They pour billions into Ukraine, and Zelenskyy stuck his behind in Trump's. He stuck his behind, and boy, This is who you sent your money to. That's who you sent your money to right there. Thank you so much. Also, Quantum Solace, Elon and Doge are licking their chops to get at the books of these shadow companies. Got 33, 34 super chats. One more and we'll be at 35. That'll be great. I know y'all learned something today. I know you did. And so I appreciate that. But thank you so much, Quantum Solace. Trump got bruh in a pickle. Yeah, he got he got to give up the sauce. He has no leverage to demand anything. He sure doesn't. He better pay. Gonna lose a little country. That's who y'all gave your money to. That guy right there. This is who your money went to. Him. Shout out to Renee Winsley. Thank you so much. Shout out to Randy Harris. Good looking out. Thank you so much, Randy. He said, Wingman Vance. That's right. Black Samurai. Big Trump in 2025. Shout out to Evildoer. Welcome to the membership, fam. Also, Yaya Kid. Yeah, keep that membership popping. Thank you so much, man. We got to get these membership up. Also, Ben Cisco, Emerson, hot pan. Yeah, that's hot pan, right? This is where your money went. That's where your money went. That's the president. That's who the Democrats want you to get behind. We got 36 super chats. I ain't gonna play with y'all up in here. I appreciate y'all, but this who they want you to get behind. Hot pants. Somebody type hot pants in the chat room. That's who they want y'all to fall in behind right there. That cat. Okay, that's him. That's him right there. Oh, hot pants. But anyway, yeah. So shout out to also Janetta. Thank you so much, Janetta. I learned something every time I'm on your broadcast. If you don't learn something, then you weren't listening or having a problem. Some people just, you can't teach them. Some people you can only do so much. Okay. Some people, they were just sitting on the back of the short bus with their little tongue against the window. You know how they do. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to be ugly up in here, but some people, they be licking the back window on the short bus. That's them. You can't teach everybody. I do my best. I try to put it down where the cows can eat it. I try to teach everybody. Some people you can't teach. Okay, Janetta, we're doing the best we can. We're going to bring them up, though. We're going to get them out. We're going to get them out of here. We're going to get them a little degree. Okay, we're doing the best we can to learn them something. Somebody type learn something in the chat room. Also, Quantum Solace, he says, I understand why he enjoyed the white girl looking at that foolishness. I know he's embarrassed. Here I am thinking this dude is some military prodigy and bro is a hot pocket. He is a hot pocket. That's the military genius that we sent $200-300 billion to, brother. That's who we sent all our money to. Okay? Just so know, this is where Joe Biden sent the money. So the next time they start talking about Zelenskyy and he's such a noble feature and all that, this is who we sent.
I think it's just
this cat right here. Okay? That's who. He come in there looking like dressed up like a Russian gangster, Russian mafia. That's him. But anyway, shout out to Bet. Zelensky's on the Epstein list. Funny. You funny. All right. Black Sand said Trump could have a deal with Russia to dig the cobalt for U.S. Everyone would be happy except the man in the dress. That's Russia for a win. Right. It's a straight up one. We got 39 super chats. One more, and I have 40. Okay. And that'll be outstandalicious. Okay. Don't steal my word. Anyway, shout out to Black Sand. Russia's already won. Trump mentioned World War III. Thank you so much. Yeah, they need to fall in. And who wants to fight over that? Let Russia have their side chick back. You got to go back. Okay. We let them go on in, girl. Go on over there with your man. Go on over there. We can't stay with us no more. All right. My man Joshua Ben Joseph said the colonizer are utterly wicked. Then now, my thing is, why the hell these African countries treat Europeans so nicely, rolling out the red card? Yeah, man, you got to ask them about that. All right, we got 40 super chats. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yeah. Now, let's see if we can get 45 before I finish. I'm about halfway through. Let's see if we can get 5 more super chats. Shout out to DT Super Sticker. I'm going to try to read fast. And shout out to Joshua and Ben Joseph. Africa needs more leaders like Idi Amin and Sankara. Eddie B says, thank you, sir, for teaching history to a dumbed down people. Don't talk about my people like that, man. Don't do that, man. Much respect and much love. I'm doing the best. Don't call my people dumb. You got to tell them they're smart. That's what you do. There was a study that said if you tell children they're smart, they'll be smarter. There was a little Elon Musk child, and you hear how President Trump said he's high IQ. He's high IQ. That plays on a child's psychology. If you tell them they're smart, they'll act smart. If you tell them they're bad, they'll act bad. If you tell a child he has a high IQ, he start conforming to that behavior. There was a study done. They told a bunch of kids, you're high IQ, you're good, you're smart. Those kids did well on the test. The ones that they didn't say anything to didn't do much, and the ones they told was stupid did worse. So children fall into what you call them. Okay, if you call them all kind of mean names, that's what you're gonna get. So we believe in positivity over here, but man, shout out to you, Eddie B. We have brilliant people, brilliant foundational Black Americans, brilliant Black people here in the country, in the United States. They just need to be properly informed, and that's what I'm doing. Okay, that's all I'm doing. I'm just properly informing my people so they can make their own decision. Again, I don't care who you vote for. I want you to vote your interest. But what we are going to do, what I am for 100% is America first. Okay, because I live in America, and as a practical matter, my family lives here, my interests are here, and everybody who's smart and intelligent should be focused on where they at. There was a song out that came out many years ago when I was a youngster growing up or going to college in Louisiana. It said, ain't where you from, it's where you at. You know what I'm talking about? So shout out to you, Eddie B. But anyway, we got 41 super chats. Let's get to 45, and we can do that. That'll be all the way live. All right, Devin Mitchell. And only if you learn something. You didn't learn anything, you don't owe me anything. I don't want anything from you. I'm not out here begging, but I feel like if I teach and you learn, then y'all should pay and I should earn. How about that? Bars. But thank you so much. You teaching hard. I got read up on these things. Thank you so much, Devin. Joshua Ben Joseph, while in the continent in 2022, I was on a flight from Kinshasa to Nairobi. It was packed with Germans, Chinese, etc. I don't care why Africans, I don't know why Africans, IDK why Africans forgive them. Shout out to Joshua Ben Joseph. He says, Cape Town, SA is full of illegal Europeans. Wow, I can imagine. Randy Harris, we got 43 super chats. We're almost there. Let's get to 45. That'll be great, but only if you learn some. Randy Harris, real talk, true facts. Thank you so much. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know how y'all was gonna take this. I'm like, man, they don't want to hear about this. So I am really happy that I've had almost 1,400 people in the chat room. I'm really excited about that. That makes me tremendously happy that you all are developing an appetite for these very complicated subjects, related to international politics. So let me shout out to everybody in the chat room. I'm so proud of you all, because if you believe the mass media, they will tell you that all the American public is concerned about is reality TV shows and eating food at fast food restaurants. And as far as Black Americans, especially foundational Black Americans, they have even worse to say. So just be proud of yourself for even being interested in tuning into this information. And it flies in the face of the mass media and what they say. These are very complicated subjects. And if you understood at least 30-40% of what was said tonight, if you were able to follow it, man, that is, you ready to go. This is some complicated stuff that most politicians don't understand, who are supposed to be in this business. So kudos to you all. But nevertheless, and it's cool being able to teach without having some sort of political agenda. I want you to be free. Okay. Again, I preach a freedom doctrine on this page. Now, I may have, focused more on being an advocate for foundational Black Americans, men, and now I'm kind of focused on America first and focused on foundational Black American people, both men and women. I may have done that, but at the end of the day, it's still a freedom doctrine. I just want you to be well informed, make your own doggone decision. As far as I'm concerned, I'm always going to be 100% America first, because I live in America. So it's a practical thing. Just like I'm an advocate for Black men because I'm a Black man, is a very practical thing that I do. It makes no sense to be otherwise. What am I going to be against Black men? That's stupid. And I'm a Black man. It's the same thing as being against America, and you live in America. You be an idiot for that. But shout out to all the folk who able to pick this up where I put it down. And again, we got 43 super chats. Let's see if we can get me to 45. That's 2 more super chats. That'll be 2 more, and that'll be cool, yo. Yeah, now let's go to Quantum Solace. He says, Randy Harris says, real talk, true facts. Thank you so much. Quantum Solace says, these are some ignoramuses that spits on the graves of their own relatives who fought in a war against wicked ideology, yet their kids are embracing the same ideology they have fought against. That is very valid point. Joshua Ben Joseph, Ukrainians all up in here in Sacramento. Yeah, buddy, you better watch. We got 44 super chats. Let's see if we can get to 45 before I finish. Eddie B, remember, it shouldn't be lost on anyone in the chat that Chuck Schumer is a Jew himself, and he is the biggest anti-Jew in the Senate. Wow. Or maybe Congress, who knows, even America until it's time for vote. I don't know, man. That's so hard. That's so horrible to hear, man. You know, it's unfortunate when you just turn your back on your own people like that. Whoever you are, that ain't cool. But shout out to Mr. Lane. Thank you. Putin brought out the black Jesus for the world to see. Yeah, Putin is messy. I remember that Putin brought that black Jesus out and had folk mad. That's something. But you know, Jesus was black. We got 44 super chats. Yeah, 45. We got 44. Give me the 45. Anybody else who learned something cool? Look, if you already donated, man, I appreciate y'all. I really do. But man, I would rather have people. Let me just say it like this. Of course, I appreciate the donations. If you just learn so much, cool. I appreciate you donating. But I would prefer people who have not already donated so much already tonight would let some other people donate. Not that you know, I don't want one person because like I appreciate it, you know, and it's very flattering to have certain people come in donating all this money and whatnot. But you know, I don't want one person to just be over donating. You know what I mean? Like I know that's like not what I'm supposed to say on YouTube. I'm supposed to try to get all I can, but my preference is that we spread it around a little bit. We got like, you know, over 1,000 people in here, and then we only got like, you know, like 6 or 7 people who are really contributing heavy. You know what I'm saying? And I know everybody's learning something. So, you know, I'd appreciate if we spread it around and take the burden off these folk. Not that you have to donate anything, but if you did learn something, it'd be cool if other people didn't have to, you know, donate as much. If that makes, and I know I'm not supposed to say that. I'm supposed to try to get all I can, but you know, I appreciate y'all, man. I really do. So it's a labor of love, and I want to teach my people. As long as you all are learning, I'll keep on teaching, man. But thank you so much for everybody who contributed. We got 45 super chat. That's what's up. All right, so Putin brought out the black Jesus in the world. Yeah, I read that. Shout out to Greg Lisman Jr. Thank you so much, bro. Good seeing you in here again. I appreciate everybody, man. Thank you so much for everybody, even the ones who don't donate. I appreciate all you guys. Less lethal, Maine. Thank you so much for the membership. You get the hand clap. Norwal, extremely informative as usual. Thank you so much, Norwal. Gary Grant, keep up this political content. I shall, my brother. Thank you. Chad Tyrone, hey man, I do what it do, Uncle D. Yeah, baby. Yeah, I'm gonna give you the yeah. Jacoby, salute Uncle D. Keep up the good work. I will, man. I will. We got 46 too. We rolling. We might get to 50 tonight. That'll be what's happening. But who else we got up in here? Almost finished. Chad and Tyrone 77. Hey man, yeah, I got you already. Jacoby, Abolia Falati, thank you for the $2.99 super sticker. L. Vincent, thank you for the super sticker. Also, Johnny Harris said geopolitics. Good looking out. Oh, we got us a late cash app that came through, man. Let me make sure I give a shout out to Mr. Mason. Thank you so much for the late cash app. I appreciate you. I'm gonna read all the people, man. Also, Lavelle said, you're right, Russian death toll is 200,000. Yeah, they want to stop that. You know what I'm saying? Golly, they like people just dying left and right. Just we keep the doggone war going so this fool can stay in power and wear dresses. This who we fighting for? This is the dude we fighting for right here. That's who we fighting for. This guy, right? Somebody type hot pants in the chat room. Y'all fighting for hot pants. Okay? Hot pants want to keep this war going because he don't want to lose his job as president. Okay? This is why he wants to keep it going. Okay? Putin probably saw it and said, yeah, come on. let's go down now. It's stick. The Biden is stupid. We'll go down now. This is who y'all voting for. I mean, this is who y'all want to send you $350 billion to. That guy. Anyway, my man Yaya's kid said, I'm a sister who loves, supports our black. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Sister, I appreciate you. Good looking out. Also, 5-point star. Don't forget Guyana and Trinidad, both black countries run by Indians and now have Indian president. Wow. Well, you know, as I go, Lee, 1990. Thank you so much, Lee, for the super sticker. Also, from here to Enlightenment, what college did you go to in Louisiana? Have you ever lived in New Orleans? Yeah, bro. Of course I lived in New Orleans. You heard me? Look here, baby. I went to Grambling. Okay, you want to know what part of Louisiana I lived in? Hold up. Let me tell you something so you can hear me the first time. Look here. So I went to Grambling State University. Okay, and then after I got out of there, I went down to Southern Baton Rouge. Okay, or they say Baton Rouge, depending on what part of Baton Rouge you from. Okay, I went there, and then I went down to Tulane, and I got my LLM in environmental and energy related law. So I went to Grambling State University. So my education is, I got all my education in Louisiana. So I guess, where did I live? I live in Grambling, the city of Grambling. I moved to Baton Rouge. Then after that, I moved out to Jefferson Parish, which buttresses Orleans Parish, which is where New Orleans is. So yeah, that's that. You all asking all these personal questions. You might be working for the police. I'm gonna have to watch you, Mr. From here, and like, I'm gonna keep an eye on you. I'm got eyes on you. All 4 of my eyes watching you. Ask me these questions. I don't like all them questions. Okay. Anyway, shout out to Kevin Carpenter. Thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. Meow meow. Oh, you must be Buddy's friend. Thank you for teaching our people. Yes, I will. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that compliment. I'm doing my best to teach our people. They say our people die for a lack of knowledge. I believe that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that so many years ago. You know what I mean? And I think that's all we need. But we're awakening. And, you know, my thing is, hey, they say when the student is ready, the teacher will come. And I think at this point, we are becoming politically savvy. We're not just going to follow one party or other. And like I told you guys, I don't care who votes. I don't care who you vote for. I just want to make sure you're well informed. Vote your interest. Vote Democrat. Vote Republican. Sit on the couch. Where all my couch sitters at? Everybody who sat on the damn couch, that's a vote too. You understand me? If they don't motivate you to get off the couch, they shouldn't earn your vote. So shout out to everybody who sat on the couch. Hey, Democrat, Republican, Independent, couch. That's a valid vote. I'm not telling you what to do. I want you to vote your interest or not vote your interest. Whatever it is you want to do. We preach a freedom doctrine on this page for black folks because really for every American, but I'm focused on foundational black Americans because let them tell it we still in handcuffs. We still locked up in chains. We can't even do what we want to do. We can't even vote our interests. You in there with a little room by yourself, and now you got these chains on your mind and say, I have to vote Democrat. I have to vote Democrat. That is not cool. We're going to let my people go. You understand me? We got 49 super chats. All we need is one more to get 50. 49 is fine, but 50 is nifty. We need one more super chat and we'll be at 50, but only if you learn something, only from the people that learn something. Don't give me anything for free. I'm not begging. I'm earning. You see what I'm saying? If you learning, I'm earning. That's all I want. But nevertheless, man, thank you so much, Meow Meow. And also MAGA since 1492. Oh, you go way back. Is that right? We know that is a long time, sir. You telling me you've been Make America Great Again since 1490. You was here with the slave ship. You must be like a vampire or something, MAGA. But anyway, shout out to Rick Simmons. And also shout out to Black Sand. Oh, we got another late cash app that came through. Shout out to Mr. Paul. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Rick Simmons and also shout out to Black Sand. Jesus' daddy name is Yahshua. His mama and friends call him Yahshua. It's not just the skin color, it's stolen. Thank you so much. We got 49 super chats. Man, we almost got 50. 50 would have been nifty, but 49 is fine. Let's go ahead and bring this. Let's land this thing. We're going to land this helicopter right on the top of y'all's heads. You understand me? Oh, we just got one through. Shout out to MA, man. We made 50. That is outstanding. Shout out to the replay gang, man, before I get down to the nitty gritty. Look here. Somebody type look here in the chat room. Look at here. Look at here. It's time to stop playing these games. You understand me? I'm just saying. Well, everybody come to the front. Okay? It's time to stop playing these games and face reality. America is tired of being robbed. Okay? Shout out to my man James McMahon. Shout out to Johnny Harris. We tired of being robbed. We're tired of our tax dollars being funneled into wars we didn't start, countries that hate us, or the people in our country. We're tired of politicians getting rich while we struggle to afford groceries. We're tired of being told that we have to sacrifice our future for people who have never done a darn thing for us. Let me make one thing clear. I have no problem with the President of the United States demanding that Hot Pants Zelenskyy, okay, shout out to Twain Johnson, Hot Pants, anyone else pay their fair share. You want to call it international extortion scheme for protection, that's fine. Call it whatever you want. But the fact is, America has been paying the world's bills for far too doggone long, and we're sick of it. Meanwhile, our borders are wide open. Our cities are falling apart. Americans are dying from fentanyl. Our economy is crumbling, and our own people are being ignored. But when we ask for accountability, when we demand that our government put America first, what do we get? We get gaslit. We get told we're selfish. We get called every name in the book while our so-called leaders keep giving away our money to people who will never pay us back. Here's the truth they don't want you to hear. Trump says he's cutting wasteful spending. The Democrats call him a dictator. Elon Musk asks how we're $36 trillion in debt, and they yell, no one voted for Elon. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says he wants to make America healthy again. They shout, stop him. Trump puts tariffs on Mexico and Canada for allowing dope to flood our country, and the Democrats cry, but our avocados won't get picked. Then you got Tulsi Gabbard says we should investigate these U.S. funded biolabs in Ukraine, and they scream Russian puppet to this woman. Trump deports criminals who are illegal, and they panic. Who's going to pick our crops? This is what these people are saying. Again, even when Trump suggests ending tax tips, ending taxes on tips and overtime and Social Security, the Democrats cry, but what about our egg prices? Look, man, the funniest one, Elon Musk suggests auditing Congress and IRS and the elites panic, right? Telling us this billionaire Musk is our enemy and he wants our money. See, here's the problem. See, they're going to fight tooth and nail to protect the corruption that's going on. But the second an American president demands that another country pull its weight, suddenly it's a problem. Look, man, we're not a bank. America is not an ATM machine for the world. For decades, we've been forced to pay for everyone else's problems. We send billions of dollars to Ukraine while veterans sleep on the streets. Our veterans who fought in our wars, who are suffering from PTSD, who can't hold a job, who are addicted to painkillers from the injuries caused to them, our Marines, our Army, our Navy, our Air Force, our guys, our girls, they sleeping on the streets. We rebuild countries, foreign countries, and we got roads that are crumbling and buildings that are falling apart. Our own infrastructure is crumbling. We can protect these other nations and these other borders for these other nations while our own borders are lawless. Whether we talk about human trafficking or drug trafficking, it's a disaster. We take in immigrants from nations that hate us while American citizens struggle to find work. We making jobs for them. We giving them food stamps. We put them in places in luxury hotels in New York. We putting our own children out of different facilities and parks and whatnot, recreation centers, so we can put these people in who don't even like us. Enough of that. They can find money for foreign wars, but they can't find FBA reparations. Let me ask you something. Why is there always money for Ukraine, but never money for reparations for foundational Black Americans? Why is there always money to protect these European borders, but we don't have money to rebuild Black American communities after redlining, the crack epidemic, the Biden crime bill, which targeted Black folk and stole our folk out and took them to prison? Why is there always money for foreign aid, but not a single cent to repay the debt owed to the descendants of American slavery? See, the same Democrat Party that bends over backwards and sends billions of dollars overseas, the same party that told Black people, we can't do anything specifically for you. Remember what Kamala Harris said? Remember when she was asked about reparations, she smirked, I'm not going to do just something for Black people. But when it comes to Ukraine, when it comes to Israel, when it comes to these refugees, when it comes to these immigrants, suddenly the money is there. This is the same party that fights to give undocumented immigrants access to free healthcare, free education, free college education, government benefits, while foundational Black American communities struggle to survive. This is the same party that tells us to wait our turn. While they write checks for everybody else, they want Black people to stay broke. They want us to stay desperate. They want us to stay dependent, because the second we demand something for ourselves, the second we say, what about us? They shut us down. They tell us, oh, this is impossible. They tell us to be patient. Meanwhile, they're sending trillions of dollars of our tax dollars to the world. If the Ukraine wants more money, they can start paying their fair share. If NATO wants more weapons, they can stop freeloading off the American taxpayer. If Europe wants protection, they can pay for it. The American people are done. We're done footing the bill for the world's problems. And if that offends people, good, because we don't care anymore. We're done with the lies. We're done with the excuses, and we're double done with the guilt trips. Either we put America first or America falls. The choice is yours. This is Uncle D. I love you. And as I always said this time, I'm out.
Dennis Sperling.
In the city where the lights don't sleep, Uncle D got the vibe so deep. Representing men strong and free. Dennis Sperling's the king of the spree. In the streets where the rhythm flows, Black men rising, that's how it goes. Uncle D got the truth to show. In his heart, that's where the fire glows. Late night tuning, light up the stream. Dennis Sperling, wisdom gleam. Voices whisper truth and insight. In his podcast, feel the light. Harmony in every word. Truth and laughter you've heard. That's all right. Wave after wave of smooth delight. Dennis brings the dark to light. That's the blizzard, baby. Share the tales unfold. Stories born like morning gold. Feeling the wisdom that's building. Subscribing like time after time.
Black men, black men, black men. I want to salute you. The incarceration rate is down. The education rate is up. We up. We went from. We are doing great for ourselves. So you should salute yourself. Shout out to all the brothers out there, whether you're a truck driver or engineer, whether you're an electrician or garbage man, a doctor, a lawyer, if you a hard-working brother, if you fresh out the penitentiary, but you on your grind and you doing it legal and you trying to make amends for yourself, man, I salute you too, brothers. God bless you. This is Uncle D, and you know, I'm out.